Kuhn is the fullback with the first and goal. Kuhn gets the call. Pyle driving his way in for the touchdown. What a great second effort. Here comes the, y'all don't really want it like that. Here comes the, y'all don't really want it like that. I said so, I keep big bills up in my heart on the dirty like blood. So ain't got no twist in my head, but I'm still dreadful.
Wolfpack, what's going on? It's your boy, the Wolf of Roto Street, RotoStreetJournal.com. We breed and feed you fantasy wolves. Here with your Week 7 sit start show. We're almost halfway done with the regular fantasy season, depending on when your playoffs start. Usually Week 15 with this new schedule. Man, we're getting close, folks. So we got to get those wins locked in for you, Wolfpack. So let's give it all the news. We'll get our Thursday night football takeaways. We'll hit, of course, the vast majority of the time spent on your questions, getting those lineups perfect. Before we dive in, my man CJ has joined me as always. How we doing today, brother?
Not bad. A little frazzled. There's always so much stuff going on Sundays. We got our own lineups, got bets going everywhere. You got news flying everywhere. It's crazy.
Betting Maverick over there. Hopefully you crack 1K today.
I don't know. We were looking at it. This slate isn't great. It's not a great slate for anything, really. It's kind of a gross slate, honestly.
Not a great slate for betting, maybe, but for DFS, I'm telling you, I think I have the nuts this week. I texted you and our boy Zenos, former $300,000 winner on DraftKings. We're looking at the lineups together. I think I got it this week. We'll see. Made a few tweaks.
I'd love that for us.
But yeah, I'm feeling good. I actually really, really like DraftKings this week.
Yeah, the 1 o'clock betting slate just sucks. Honestly, we're not even really touching it. That's not something I want to get involved with.
Hey, indeed. Well, let us know, folks. If you got sit-start questions, betting questions, DFS questions, whatever we can do to help you make this the most profitable Sunday maybe of your life. Maybe we'll help you win $1 million. Who knows? Nah, because I'm going to win that today. I'm telling you, I'm winning the milli today. We will see. But let's get on, and we'll pack that thumbs up button. Does greatly help us. If you're here right from the start, quick thumbs up does get us out to more people right off the bat. It would be so greatly appreciated. As always, preference is given to Super Chats and, of course, call-ins. It looks like we got the call-in line. Already a few people backing up in there. Love to see it. Some regulars, new faces. Everything is always great on Sunday mornings. That thumbs up button, though, Wolfpack, would be so helpful. Get us out to more people. Let me quickly hit some Thursday night football takeaways and some news as CJ gets together some no-house advantage prop bets for you. Chris Olave remains a beast. Oh, no, that's I had the wrong banner there for this Thursday night. That was last game. This was actually finally some points. So I'm going to just type a quick new banner, Chris Olave, lock, and then Hopkins, hog. This is the other big takeaway. So new banner. Here we go, Wolfpack. Sorry about that. So Chris Olave, just another monster game, 14 targets. Another game with over 30% target share. Yes, I know, no Michael Thomas, no Landry. Who else are they going to throw to? Alvin Kamara, potentially. Great game from Olave, though. 7 catches, 106. Still able to go down the field with Andy Dalton. That's a big takeaway because a lot of people worried, what is it going to happen to his value without the gunslinging Jameis? Well, Dalton himself, 361 yards, 4 touchdowns. Yes, 3 interceptions, including 2 back-to-back pick sixes. It was brutal in that sense. One of them wasn't really his fault at all, though. The guy can sling. 361 yards is not a bad aerial pie by any stretch of the imagination. Will be one of the highest yardage totals of this week with really no receivers to throw to. So looks like Olave, with this rumors that Andy Dalton might be their quarterback moving forward the rest of the year. They like the more stable presence he brings to the offense. I guess it's hard to be less stable than Jameis Winston. So
that's no fun, though. I don't like that. That's no fun at all.
It's not nearly as – I love Jameis. I hope Jameis comes back and gets the shot. But either way, it's good to see Olave being sustained with Andy Dalton, regardless if he's under center. He's just that good of a stud. So you can only imagine in the future when they get like a real QB under center how much damage this guy could do. Eno Benjamin also having himself a big day, 12 carries, 92 yards and a score, 21 yards on 4 receptions as well, over 20 fantasy points. Those of you that used him on Thursday night, well done. We had a few sit starts like Benjamin versus Rondale Moore, and we did go to Benjamin, but a few running back questions were like, not really feeling Benjamin this week. So our apologies in advance if Me and the Truth steered you away from that 20-point day. But we did tell a good, probably 50-50 play him versus sit him. So hopefully you were on the right side of that. Few you messaging that you played him anyways, even despite our turning him down. So hopefully, again, you took advantage of that. Looks like he is definitely the guy to go, even though Keontae Ingram had a touchdown, also had 23 yards on 2 catches and had a touchdown called back. Looks like there's a little bit of a vulture situation. Could have been an even bigger day for Eno. The biggest takeaway, though, for your Cardinals is that Hopkins returns right into the hog roll. 10 catches, 103 yards, 14 targets. Meanwhile, Rondale, 2 targets, 1 catch, 31 yards. And that was on like the first drive, too. So a lot of people were like, oh, yeah, here we go. Rondale fired him up. Let's go, baby. And then nothing else the rest of the game. What a deflating experience.
Yeah, I saw a tweet about how Hopkins slid back into the slot, and so Rondale just can't play outside, and so he's going to be useless basically.
And that's where he's useless. So, I mean, as early as if he was on your bench this week, you can cut him for a tryout. We got some tryouts we're going to talk about on today's show that I'm pretty intrigued by. I don't know that Rondale's a hold with Hopkins there. I don't think this game, yes, obviously get your guy going, get him active, probably a big part of the script, but Hopkins has always been a 10 to 15 target guy with Kyler Murray. So I don't expect Rondale Moore. Yeah, better than 31 yards and 1 catch. Sure. I don't think he's going to ever be a truly trustworthy piece. Obviously, Zach Ertz, too, 21 yards, 2 catches, a 2-point conversion kind of made the day. It was 5 points. So I shouldn't say good, didn't save his day. It still sucked. But ultimately, it wasn't quite as bad as Rondale Moore. It's brutal because I knew in my gut I wanted to sit the motherfucker. I have Gerald Everett on my bench facing Seattle. He's going to smash Seattle today. So if you have Gerald Everett, this is all to say I sat him for Zach Ertz. Zach Ertz sucked. Guaranteed like 20 points coming from Gerald Everett.
Revenge game, too.
A revenge game. Great matchup. I mean, definitely a good spot. He's only 4K on DraftKings, too. There's a couple punts I like more. My builds tend to be that. But ultimately, it's Gerald Everett. Just the fact he's on my bench, I guarantee you he smashes today. The only other takeaway, you got Taysom Hill rushing in for a touchdown, or catching a touchdown rather, not rushing it in. Alvin Kamara did have a nice day, 7 catches, 56 yards, 49 on the ground. Nice 14 to 15 to 20, approaching 20 if you're in a full PPR league. The question is, though, is he ever going to score? Like, what's going to happen? You always Taysom Hill at the goal line. That's the pain in the ass. He's looking like very much a low-end running back 1, but that true like top 3 ceiling might just be impossible to hit for Alvin Kamara this year with Taysom Hill with all these vultures. And then it could get even worse when Jameis comes in. So I'm not saying sell Alvin Kamara, but if there's a running back needy team out there and you could get something, a high-end wide receiver 1, something of that nature, I would test the waters, is all I'm saying, just because I don't think there's much touchdown upside at all. And then when Jameis comes back, if he comes back, Andy Dalton being named the long-term starter would be huge for Kamara's value. I would not sell him in any situation at that point, but we know Jameis Winston does not throw. The only other notes there, Juwan Johnson had 2 scores, 32 yards. It's so inconsistent. It's going to be impossible to trust, but it was a streaming spot. The Cardinals just continue to get battered by tight ends. Always a good spot. And Robbie Anderson did not have a catch. He was burning down the field. He only played 12 snaps. Wouldn't be worried there. Not a bad stash in that offense. Kyler looks like he's getting right. Let's move on to some quick news. Not a ton of quarterback news, but Kenny Pickett has been cleared to play tonight. He was my Hail Mary of the week on Thursday's show. I still love him. Second most points allowed, the Dolphins, to the quarterback position. He's looked good against good defenses. 67 yards and a score against the Bucs before getting hurt. Last week threw for over 300 against the best pass D in the league. The Bills, who hadn't given up more than 240 to Stafford in week 1, they hadn't given up more than 200 yards since after that. So good day from Pickett against 2 good defenses. This is his first real easy matchup. Wouldn't mind at all if I'm quarterback needy stashing him or even potentially streaming him tonight and seeing what happens. Russell Wilson, partially torn hamstring. He is not going to be playing today and doubtful that he could linger on into London week next week. We will see. Brett Ripien will be getting the start. He actually peppered. I looked up like
I was going to say, is that a QB upgrade?
Might be, honestly. Last time out, like you'd think it would be, oh no, now they've been this bad with Russell Wilson. Like, how could it get any worse? Is Brett Ripien like truly going to be worse? Again, different offense, different play caller. A big part of Russ's struggles is probably how hideous this offense is. But ultimately, last time out, Tim Patrick was a top 7 receiver. He peppered the tight ends 9 on his 30 pass attempts. So almost 30% of his targets went to tight ends. So maybe Greg Dulcich has himself another good day. He's 2,500 on DraftKings for the desperation tight end streamers. It could get worse. So Brett Ripien, I love the Jets defense. So I guess really the biggest takeaway is smash Jets D 2,600 on DraftKings. They'll be the chalk there. I understand that. That's some chalk I will eat this week for sure. But ultimately, Brett Rypien, like, I don't view this offense much different. Tim Patrick had 23 fantasy points as the wide receiver 7. Tight end saw 9 of 31 pass attempts. Melvin Gordon had 25 points, was the running back 3 under Brett Rypien's start. I'm a little bit nervous to go back to Melvin Gordon after last week. Makes me a little squeamish, but I wouldn't say everything has to get buried here. I'm still playing Cortland Sutton. I was thinking about getting cute. Tell me if this is too cute, CJ. Benching Sutton for Wan'Dale Robinson. Too cute?
Yeah.
Yeah, I think so.
I think so.
He's been a hog all year. He's had really only one down game. And again, it's Rypien, whatever, however you fucking pronounce the dude's name. It's even a downgrade. We don't know yet. So let us know if you have Sutton, the weapons questions. I'm not playing Judy. I'll promise you that. But other than that, I could see Rypien being all right. Carson Wentz, they get Jets defense. Fire them up. Top 5 defense this week, too. Carson Wentz is on injured reserve now at this point. So Heineke's going to start in week 7. It seems, quote unquote, rooted in the belief that Washington can resurrect this season. Don't know where that belief is coming from.
I don't mind Heineke. I always for some reason, I don't think he sucks.
He sucks. Heineke fucking
Well, I mean,
sucks.
he's like a bottom whatever quarterback, but him and Wentz, I don't think there's that big of a drop off. Wentz sucks.
No, I don't think so either. But look at what the bar is that you're setting there. Wentz, yeah, okay. Is he that much worse than Wentz? No. And him and McLaurin had a fairly good rapport. I've seen a lot of people like McLaurin resurrected from the dead. I mean, he was the wide receiver 27 with the 6th most targets last year. It wasn't he did get peppered, but it wasn't getting the ball done. It wasn't getting to him all that efficiently. So I'm happier for McLaurin that he has a quarterback he has a rapport with, apparently. But I'm not sitting here McLaurin is back from the dead, hailing his praise, all that good shit. But I do think we see Sam Howell within this 4-game stretch. We will see. I don't know. But either way, Carson Wentz on IR.
Kind of a bum too, in my opinion.
Yeah, he could be. He looked good in the preseason, but I think sooner than later we'll get a couple reps out of him, a couple games out of him. Either way,
he was Tannenbaum's QB1, and wasn't he? On our
in our interview with him, maybe he looked great in the preseason. So we will see. The last quarterback note: here's Mac Jones, full participant Friday, and then took the bulk of first team reps Saturday. Looks like he's on track to return versus the Bears. Too bad. I definitely would love to see more of Zappy Hour as a Pats fan. But Mac Jones, what a good spot to walk back into. Not playing him in fantasy except deep super flex leagues. But ultimately, too bad to see Zappy. His time already cut short. But maybe there's a controversy. If Mac Jones sucks again, we will see. Moving to running back, the biggest news of the day. A couple big notes, but the first news to anybody that woke up early is that Pacheco is starting in week 7 against the 49ers. He was the first team back all week in practice. Would have been nice to have that note before Sunday morning that he was taking all the first team reps in practice. Either way, it did come out before the game started. So check your waiver wire. He was 23% rostered coming into today. He's up to about 27%. But if you're watching the show and you haven't yet, pause the show, go check your waiver wire, see if Pacheco's out there. This is obviously leading the NFL in points right now. Clyde Edwards-Helaire has been stumbling into touchdowns. He's been lucking into a lot of these. I'm worried about CEH. If he's not the starter, and especially if he's not the main goal line back, this could be a death knell to his fantasy value this far in terms of at least consistency. And it's been pretty inconsistent so far this year already. So definitely like Pacheco. Maybe not to start this week. He's 4,700 in DraftKings. He's in play there. It's 49ers. It's a good run D until last week when they had all these injuries. Is Bosa, I'm trying to think of how dinged up they are this week too. Because I know they're down at least a handful of starters yet again. So could be actually an okay spot for Pacheco, but ideally you don't have to go to him. You're at least stashing him right now, though. 100%.
I think Nick Bosa is back. Yeah,
Bosa's back.
Nick Bosa, Trent Williams, Jimmy Ward are all in versus Chiefs.
Armstead potentially. Who knows? We'll check some of those. Either way, again, new starting running back could light it up and then ultimately carry that the rest of the year. That's the type of 23% rostered guy that you want to get ahead on, Isiah Pacheco. So go check, see if he's out there. Other big running back news is J.K. Dobbins expected to undergo arthroscopic knee surgery, be sidelined at least 4 to 6 weeks. Who knows what happens from here? Kenyon Drake was a very popular pickup. He's definitely in play against a really bad, second most points allowed to running backs bad type of Cleveland run D, worst in DVOA from Pro Football Outsiders. Definitely somebody from this backfield is going to have some points today. It's good luck figuring out who it is. I think Drake is the best bet. He had over 110 yards and a touchdown last week, but a lot of that work did come after Dobbins left. He felt, quote unquote, tightening up in his knee. There was also no Justice Hill last week. he's back this week. He's not on the injury report. He was the first man up ahead of Drake before getting hurt himself. And then to mess it up even further, Gus Edwards is off the PUP. Long-term outlook, I think Gus Edwards is the one I want the most. He's the one that has been consistently the number 2 here, 140 carries been during his first 2 seasons and looked like a pretty good steamroller, like nothing sexy, but a classic like 230, 4.5 yards, just like bulldozer, straight ahead, great goal line back as well. So if I'm playing the long game, I think Gus Edwards is my far and away favorite piece of this backfield. But just for this week, given that he has no game action yet, I do think Drake probably leads the way and is your best like 1 week stopgap. But again, long-term Gus Edwards also out there. I'd rather have, it's like Pacheco versus Edwards. Can only pick up one today. Go pick up Pacheco. Like that's the better offense, clearer situation if he can really emerge. But if you miss on Pacheco and Gus Edwards out there, also well worth a stash. He's up to about 30% rostered since he's been activated. Go check out Gus Edwards, though. What's your take? That's kind of the biggest notes today for running back. I actually haven't even shared my thoughts on McCaffrey, but let's cover those 2 things real quick, CJ. Pacheco, would you play him at all today? Like, would you?
I don't really. Yeah, I mean, if you're getting crushed by like bye weeks or something, I think I would. But it's like, I don't know. I honestly don't love him as a talent, and that I think Clyde will still be the goal line back. He's proven he can score. So I don't know. I don't really have high hopes for him. I wouldn't feel comfortable as like a starting running back in my lineup. Maybe like a flex option if I'm desperate or something, but no, I'm not really like crazy about it.
We view it the same way. He came into my running back 31, so yeah, he's in play. The big thing was like CEH was my running back 22-ish. He fell down to running back 29 now. I have CEH still a little bit higher than Pacheco. They said he's going to remain highly involved. In fact, they might actually increase his passing game workload at the expense of Jerick McKinnon. So maybe McKinnon just ends up disappearing into the sun, and that would be great for everybody here because he's been actually leading the team in snaps for multiple weeks out of like 5 of the 7 weeks so far this season. McKinnon's actually had the highest snaps. So that could end up just maybe Hilaire becomes more of the pass catching back. That would be more of a valuable role. We know he can score. He's got a nose for the end zone this year. So I still have CEH a little bit higher than Pacheco, just the known factor, I guess, whatever you call it. But it does make CEH a lot less harder to like stamp my approval for. I'd rather have Damian Harris, AJ Dillon as the guys just ahead of either of those backs.
Outside of Kelsey, there's no one I like really on the Chiefs.
It's how crazy is that? The highest scoring offense in the league, and there's maybe one player besides of the non-Mahomes, of the skill positions, that I actually genuinely want to start every week. It's nuts to be the highest scoring offense in the league and have one viable fantasy product. That's where we're at. That's where we're at with them. What about the Ravens as well? Do you view it the same way, like Gus, best long-term, Drake, I
read the Gus bus. I love Gus.
Oh yeah. Okay. Yeah. I want to just confirm.
Honestly, I think I'd rather have Gus than Pacheco. I don't know.
Gus than who?
Pacheco.
It is the run heaviest offense in the league. Gus Bus has done it before. I do prefer the upside of Pacheco myself, but is it Pacheco or Pacheco? Am I saying it wrong the whole time?
I honestly have no idea. He played at Rutgers, so I never really watched him.
I thought it was Pacheco. I should probably know by this point because I've been talking about him all preseason, and now here I'm 90% confident it's Pacheco. But hey, chat, feel free to correct me if it's Pacheco. Please do let me know so
Pacheco sounds better. We'll go Pacheco.
The only other guy, so I now want to cover like the other potential streamer this week is Donta Foreman. There's a lot of running back news. I know we're taking our time here. I apologize, but it could inform your questions, and it's big news because a lot of these guys are on waiver wire. So CMC, real quick, he's going to play today. I'm in the camp like CMC's in, you play him. I don't know how many snaps it's going to be. This is the biggest game of the year. I don't think you give up 4 draft picks for a premier talent like this. And yeah, I get like he doesn't have the whole playbook down at his fingertips, and this is his first time in action with this team. I get all that. It's also going to be his first time seeing space this year because he's going to have an actual line. He's going to be in an actually competent offense. I don't think running back's different than receivers and obviously quarterback.
I agree with that.
You line up and you run. I'm not saying there's not nuances to the game, and certainly in a Shanahan offense, there's reads, there's cuts, the zone blocking scheme. Like it can take a little bit of getting used to. Saw some stats from our guy Scott Barrett. Like in the past, McCaffrey hasn't been as productive on zone scheme runs than power game runs, but he also gave the right preface of that, saying this is also CMC. He's one of the elite talents. This is an elite scheme. I'm in the camp of this is a Shanahan offense we've seen Carlos Hyde sees 65, 70 targets. We've seen multiple seasons of 30% target shares going to the backfield when they have a right talent back there. Devonta Freeman broke fantasy, was the running back one just like 6 seasons ago in the Shanahan offense. McCaffrey is like elite level player compared to Freeman, who outside those 1-2 years in the offense of Shanahan has done nothing. So I'm in the camp that this is like, I'm seeing people be like, this is a neutral to worse thing for McCaffrey. Are you fucking kidding me? Anything but the Panthers is good for any player on the Panthers right now, especially getting McCaffrey. Like, yeah, he has a few mouths to contend with in terms of Debo and Kittle. And yes, Ayuk's a great player. More mouths. To me, all that does is like make it far harder to key in and zone in and take him out of a game, more space for him to operate. I think Shanahan, like getting his hands on a talent like this, I get the whole thing of the Shanahan system is like, he shouldn't have to use 4 picks to get a running back because Shanahan makes monsters out of everybody.
Yeah, that's kind of a different conversation. Like we could probably talk. We could bring our boy on from San Francisco to shit on Shanahan.
Yeah, come on and shit on the team for it. That's fine. Fantasy-wise, Shanahan's going to fucking just come up with some crazy schemes for this guy. Probably not as early as this week. So to get back to week 7, like he's down to my running back 14 for the week. Normally he's going to be top 3. I think rest of season outlook for McCaffrey in this offense is the number 1 player in fantasy. I'd rather have him than any single player at this point. Maybe Cooper Kupp ahead of him, but I don't know. Rest of season big board, I'm probably going to move McCaffrey ahead of him just because the upside is so astronomical in this amazing scheme, in this offense that's surrounded by playmakers. You can't take him out. Maybe a few less touches per game. I'm okay with that with McCaffrey. Less chances for him to get dinged up. More explosive, more space, all that. More touchdown chances. Love it. All that being said, for this week, you're probably still playing him running back 14. You know, he's locked into my lineups, but you could let us know. I have him just below Ramondre Stevenson actually, I think I might have, with Harris coming back, bumped him above Stevenson. You're playing McCaffrey. It's fucking McCaffrey. I don't care if he touches the ball 5 times this week. He has a good chance to score anytime he touches the ball, especially in this offense. Set and forget McCaffrey. Don't overthink it.
And how Rap Sheet said, even if it is like minimal snaps, he said he's going to be a red zone package. So I love his chance to score this week. Especially Shanahan, they just gave up like their entire draft for a running back. He's going to score this week. He's going to prove a point. Oh, look how good he is in this offense. But,
I bet so much of it. Like you hear, like the Rams were real close to getting him too. I bet like Shanahan was in a race to get Stafford with the Rams with McVay, his buddy. He was probably just like, I can't lose out to fucking McVay.
Yeah, but the Rams,
so like he just whipped it on the table and had to go
no
and get
picks
him.
For the next like 7 years. They're like, oh, we'll give you like a 2037 like second round pick. That's all they have left.
Deal. So I'm playing McCaffrey again. Rest of season, I absolutely love this move for him. Trent Williams back today too, only making it even juicier. Jonathan Taylor will be in this week. Deion Jackson and Nyheim Hines also active and healthy. So I imagine we're not going to see a Deion Jackson style workload for the best running back in football today. Facing the Titans, the better against the run than the pass. Taylor did suck against them last time out. He had 2 fantasy points. I don't care. I'm playing Jonathan Taylor. If you have Taylor, he's in your lineups. He's top 7 for me in the rankings. And it's about to get contrarian on DraftKings. Not a lot of people going to Taylor. Wouldn't be shocked at all to see 102 touchdowns, but a little messier given that Deion Jackson has played so well that Hines is back as well. Swift is out, barring a surprise. We'll get the official confirmation soon, but it looks like you will be without DeAndre Swift. Jamal Williams, 6,100 on DraftKings, up to my running back 16, was already in my higher, lower Hail Mary this week, given that he leads the NFL in red zone carries and touchdowns. Definitely a good bet every single week for a score, if not 2. And now the featured back yet again. I know it's not featured, like Craig Reynolds will be involved annoyingly. They don't hand over the keys 100% to Williams, but he'll get the high leverage snaps, high value touches. So I like them. We were talking about McCaffrey. We probably should have brought up the Panthers backfield as well. In the wake of that, I prefer Foreman. Chuba Hubbard had his chance last year. He was horrible on the volume. He was a volume play, and he got okay numbers on the volume, but he averaged I think it was the second fewest points over expectation. It was pathetic. He was expected to score 25 fantasy points a game on the volume he was getting, and he was scoring 11. So it was bad. It was not good at all when he was in there. They went out and signed Foreman for a reason. He's been the first man up throughout this year so far. I don't love either of them this week, or really in general if it is a committee situation. They mentioned they're ready to ride a hot hand if it emerges. I think Foreman, again, has the best shot at that. When he filled in for Derrick Henry last year, was a top 25 running back. I had a couple, 3 of his 6 games were in the top 15 range. So wasn't a bad play last year, a big bulldozer, but this is a much worse offense than what those Titans were. So I have him sliding in at running back 35. It's not sexy. He's right around Kenyon Drake or so. Drake being the ceiling, Foreman being the floor that doesn't really exist anyways. He's also the only 4K on DraftKings today, Foreman is. So that's really where I'm looking at him. And again, desperation leagues. I'm in a 16-team league with multiple buys and lost Javonte Williams. I'm playing Foreman today. So there are some situations where you might get Foreman in. It would be a volume play. It would be a hope he gets the hot hand. And I don't know if anyone gets the hot hand in this real shitty offense. With McCaffrey there as well, Wilson's no longer playable. In fact, he's probably droppable, given that Pacheco, Gus Edwards, like all of these other options, either of the Panthers guys at this point, all probably have more long-term value. Wilson's strictly a handcuff to Christian McCaffrey. And granted, it's always been a good handcuff to have, but then Mitchell maybe comes back even if he's due back after the bye in a couple of weeks anyways. To me, there's more upside stashes you can have than Jeff Wilson at this point, including maybe Isaiah Spiller or Sony Michel. Both guys, Sony Michel 9% rostered, Isaiah Spiller 2% rostered, active for the first time this week because Josh Kelly has been moved to injured reserve. We've seen Sony Michel all year. He has sucked. He is no good. He was much better last year. I don't know what's kind of happened to him. Looks way less explosive. So to me, the fact that Spiller hasn't been able to beat him out yet, is that a concern? Absolutely. But this is a rookie. Maybe they were taking it slow with him. He did get dinged up in camp as well, so that was part of it. He was an intriguing talent coming in here, given the amount of yards he racked up, both as a receiver and runner at Texas A&M, and especially he's very young to be racking up. Like it was the Dominator rating, all those different things were great, popping off the chart per player profiler. So I like Isaiah Spiller as a stash today. If you have a tryout situation where you can pick up Boswell tonight or Sanders tonight for Sunday Night Football, or I don't even know who the Monday night game is, but I love that strategy. If your league allows that type of roster turning, why not pick up Spiller, see how he looks, see, I have Eckler in every league, so God forbid, I hope nothing ever happens, but we've seen that handcuff role be so valuable in the past. Justin Jackson won playoff games for people last year with 35 fantasy points in his only start. He dominated. So if it ends up being Michel, Spiller, either one of those guys are worth bench spaces today while you wait it out, pick up them over a kicker. Ideally, neither of them have to actually come into value, but if something happened, Eckler, he's going to miss some time this week, that whoever is the first person in, if they look good this week, would be everybody's bidding all their fab on him. So just check that out. And then Melvin Gordon's removed from the injury report. He's starting. I don't want to trust this backfield at all if I don't have to. Moving on to the wide receiver positions. DJ Moore is quote unquote considered a foundational piece of the roster. They will not be trading him away, said the Panthers. They could be trying to drive up the price. That's my guess as to what's going on. I can't wait to see this foundational piece get 3 targets and catch 2 for 15 yards today. Foundational piece, my fucking ass. We'll find out. We'll see. I have a hard time. At this point, though, it's also like, who else are you going to throw to? There's no McCaffrey. There's no Robbie Anderson. Can't wait to watch Terrace Marshall and Ian Thomas combine for 20 targets while Moore still does nothing today. I am in the camp. I've gotten a lot of questions like bye week blues. Do I start DJ Moore or Wandale? That type of question. I actually might go DJ Moore in these situations because it's who else do they have to go to? And this is a talent. I still believe, I think DJ's talent might get overstated a little bit because at a certain point, you just do, if you're elite, you get it done no matter who's throwing you the rock. You command the targets to a point that you can't stop. That being said, I still think he's been so tanked down. So I don't put him in the elite conversation so many people seem willing to just throw him into. But I think he is a really, really good receiver. And so if they have no choice but to go to him, I think he's going to perform. So I like DJ Moore somewhat today. I don't know, CJ, would you trust DJ Moore or Wandale? That's the one I've gotten a few times. Wandale.
No, I don't want anything to do with DJ Moore.
So you'd go Wandale over him?
Yeah, I think I would.
The foundational piece. Oh, man. We'll see. I would go DJ Moore there. So another big news today is Keenan Allen. Unfortunately, they don't play till 4:25, and we've got the dreaded wants to see how he feels before making a final decision. The thing to note is they do have their bye next week, so I can imagine against the Seahawks them taking it easy. With Schefter saying they are well aware of the bye, that seems to be reading the tea leaves. Unless Keenan Allen feels 110% and the best he's felt all year, which I don't expect, I think they rest him one more week, allow him that extra week to heal up because he looked like he was ready to go a few weeks ago and then it flared up. So why not take it even safer, rest the guy one more time, which would make Mike Williams a top 6 play as he's been boom or bust, but the boom's 26, 25, 20 points this year against the Seahawks defense. Boom, oncoming this week for Mike Williams. I feel very confident in that, especially, again, with all the injuries around him. Michael Bandy on DraftKings, 3K. Ooh, I know we're getting real deep here, but preseason darling. I've watched a lot of Chargers because I have Eckler and Mike Williams, so I just pour my TV on to those games. And Bandy, I can tell you as an owner of both those other guys, he's annoying. He will get a lot more balls than you expect thrown his way. So that's the only reason he's even on my radar is because I'm just begging for the ball to go the other two. And he just keeps catching little dinks and dunks and converting things. And no Josh Palmer this week as well. So I don't mind actually Michael Bandy as a desperation 3K. Very,
Who's that other
Hadfield variance
slot guy? Is it Carter? DeAndre Carter?
Carter's more of an outside guy. Yeah. He's 3,700 on DraftKings, so also viable. And if I was picking one up to use in a redraft league, if I'm that desperate, I'd probably go Carter over Bandy. I'm just talking about the pure GP. I'm going Bandy in one of my DraftKings entries today. Just trying to be real different. I do think it's also a smash spot for Everett, as we alluded to at the top of the show, though. Again, with just Eckler, Mike Williams, and then Everett commanding about 85% of these targets. I think it's going to be a great spot and a good matchup. I just love that game. I think that's the kind of key to this week for DraftKings. Other just quick trade notes are that the Broncos are getting a lot of calls on Jerry Jeudy. The Steelers are getting a lot of trade calls on Claypool. Sounds like the Packers are obsessed with Claypool, was the report I was reading.
Did you see the other report of what the Steelers want?
Yeah, it's unfair.
They want the McCaffrey package.
It's no, Claypool's not McCaffrey. I get he's younger. I guess a higher in demand position, but come on. We're not getting a McCaffrey package for fucking Claypool. Well, I hope so. I hope the Packers do because he would be a monster there. I still believe in Claypool as a talent.
Me too.
100 times. I think the guy's a beast, but he's in a very, very tough situation surrounded by Pickens and Deontay Johnson, who are just better than him at this stage. I would love to see Claypool escape for those guys in Pittsburgh, but also for his own value. It would be huge. And I'd love to see Jerry Jeudy get a fresh start. I don't love Jeudy though. I think he's had his years to prove it. He's just injury prone. He's fast as fuck. But he makes some bad drops, smooth routes, wide open a lot, and then just right off his hand. I don't think he's it. I don't, but would love to see him in a new spot. Just to again, the Packers would love that. Please, get Jerry Jeudy somewhere more productive. We just mentioned too Parham. I should have said with the Chargers, Parham is also out too. Josh Palmer's out. So it's a very limited route tree here, or target share. So again, more reason to be good on them. On the other side of that ball, Tyler Lockett was listed as questionable, did not practice all week, but is expected to play according to Adam Schefter. So again, put him in the flex, so that way you can be flexible in who you swap in and out. Pacheco late game, maybe you swap him in if Lockett is unexpectedly out. I will say this: Lockett, when he's banged up, does not play well. Last week being a prime example, great matchup spot, did not get it done at all. So I'm a little leery of Tyler Lockett after not practicing all week. They did say they purposely held him out just to make sure he was ready and that his chances are really good and he looks really good so far. But a banged up Lockett is scary. I'm going to DK and DraftKings. I'm not a huge fan of Tyler Lockett today. Good price on DraftKings if you want to try to stomach that, but I'm a little leery on him. Rashad Bateman, there's optimism, so that's one thing we'll check. We'll know before 1 p.m. if he's playing. But pretty good guy to plug into the lineup as long as he's in. Eli Moore is not playing against the Broncos, demanding a trade. Would love, again, similar to Jeudy. Should have mentioned him with the Jeudy and Claypool segment. I'd love to see him somewhere else, but Sal has already come out and said the Jets can't trade him because they need him for his 3 targets a week, apparently. Can't trade him at all. I think he's a great talent. I do think he's been very, very underserved by Zach Wilson and this offense in general. Would love to see him go somewhere else. It does make Garrett Wilson and Corey Davis a little better for this week, but I think the Broncos defense could smother.
He is such a puss, though. His team is finally winning for once, and then he doesn't get targeted over 2 games, and he's like, I hate this place. It's your team actually is pretty good, and just typical receiver.
Wants the ball, baby. Diva receiver. I love it. Give me the diva receivers all day because they want the rock. Moore's out there in a lot of leagues, though. 40% rostered right now. I don't think he gets traded, in which case you'll probably just cut him next week. But you can slide him into your IR spots because he's out for the week. So why not pick him up, stash him, see what happens. Maybe we get a trade next week before the deadline's actually two weeks from now. Yeah. So you'd have to hold him for 2 more weeks. But in the off chance he goes, the Chiefs apparently made some calls. That would be beautiful to see him somewhere there. Kendrick Bourne's the other guy often mentioned on the trade. And I actually really like Bourne as a player. So I'd love to see him go somewhere else. I hate to lose him as a Pats fan, but fantasy-wise, I think he could really give him to the Packers, give him to the – if anybody goes to the Packers or Chiefs, like there's wide open, beautiful spots for receivers to land. For the Raiders, Hunter Renfrow and Matt Collins are both expected to play. There's optimism around both. Renfrow being a little more secure. I don't think either of these guys need to be rostered even at this point. Like Renfrow, huge bust. But the thing is no Waller today. He's ruled out for the Raiders. We saw Renfrow feast last year without Waller. Granted, there's no Devontae Adams, probably the far bigger mouth here that we have to worry about. But Renfrow maybe in play for you today. If you're desperate, he's out there in leagues and, I don't know. Maybe he gets his season back on track. Definitely one of our big whiffs, though. I thought he was going to be like the next Edelman, next Welker for Josh McDaniels, and this just has not happened. DJ Chark is not playing. He's actually on the IR. So I don't even know what the injury is. He's just on injured reserve. It might be an ankle, might be a knee. It didn't even say what his injury was that put him on the injured reserve, but he will not be in for at least 4 weeks. Josh Reynolds is another guy we're tracking today. He's been great in the absence of Chark, in the absence of Jamison Williams. He could be a nice fill-in play again today for against the Cowboys, but he's also questionable. All of that to say is Amon St. Brown is saying he's about 90% healthy. He will be in, and I think we're getting 15 to 20 targets today. We saw Cooper Kupp light up the Cowboys. They are a good defense, but I'm all in on Amon today. Like I've gotten a couple of sit starts. Like wow,
yeah. His targets are at 8.5 on sportsbooks.
Oh yeah, hammer it. He's going to get 12 targets today. 7,100 on DraftKings, lighten him up. Lighten up CeeDee Lamb on the other side at 6,800. Everybody's going to be going there, but give me both those guys to kind of mini stack that game. Randall Cobb's also been placed on the IR, 13 targets his last game out. So it's actually not completely insignificant that Randall Cobb will not be in. It does tighten the target tree up a bit, although Sammy Watkins is also being activated off IR. His last game in, led the team with 93 yards. Another guy out there in every league, not somebody I really want to play, but would any of us be shocked if Sammy Watkins walks in, starts over Dobbs, out-targets Dobbs, and just kind of ruins his fantasy value? Should it happen? No. Could it happen? Absolutely. So a little bit careful with Dobbs today. I think Lazard is pretty locked in at this point. You can play him no matter what. Looking at their prices, that's one of the contrarian stacks I sneaky like because all their prices are horrible. Like Lazard at 6.1K, more expensive than Ayuk and Kenneth Walker. No, looks horrible. No one's going to play him. No one's going to play Dobbs at 5K. No one's really probably going to play Tunyon at 4,100. So, no one's going to play Rodgers after how bad he is. He's overdue like Rodgers for that 3-4 touchdown day. And Washington's the worst team on the outside to wide receivers, giving up by far the most points to the position like they did last year, like they are this year. I could see that just being like one of those random Rodgers blow-up weeks and nobody's using any of these guys. I'm doing one entry. Like I'm not loading up on it. It's not my single entries or anything of that nature. Just a contrarian play. And all those guys are probably in play in your regular season redraft leagues as well. Last receiver note here is Jahan Dotson, a long shot. In fact, I think he's been ruled out since we started the show. So he will be out. Another guy you can stash in your IR and wait for because I do really still like the player, but he had a good connection with Wentz. Who knows what it's going to be with Heineke? Not a must-hold. Would drop for Gus Edwards, for Isiah Pacheco, some of these running backs we've talked about throughout the show. All right, we'll quickly hit these tight ends and get to all of your questions. It's a loaded mailbag. Cannot wait to hammer them all. We've got about 60 of you live here. Love to see it, Wolfpack. Great to have so many. If you don't mind doing that, that's solid. Hitting that thumbs up. The reason we're getting out to more people is because of people like you hitting that thumbs up button, sharing, liking, retweeting, all that great stuff. If you're on Twitter watching, we cannot see your questions, by the way. So please do come on over to YouTube. I posted the link on my page. But that thumbs up button is so greatly helpful, Wolfpack. Thanks again for doing that. 60 of you here. Let's get those likes up. Would be so appreciated. And, of course, preference to Super Chats and Collins, which we're going to hit in just a couple minutes as I rip through. Mark Andrews expected to play. You locked him in. No reason to not. Foster Moreau off the injury report with Darren Waller out. Like him, actually, my top 15 tight ends. This year, even with Waller in, he's got 6 and 7.4 in PPR leagues. So he hasn't completely dudded as a number 4-5 option in this offense. So now you move into number 1. He played pretty well in his starts last year. 2,800 on DraftKings at minimum. Like whether you want to use him in your season league or not, I like him at 2,800. Although I even like more with Cameron Braid out, Cade Otton, 2,700 on DraftKings. Brady loves the guy. Played 94% of the snaps last time. Great missed time. Ran a route on 87% of the routes. That was more than either of the receivers. And he saw 6 targets, hauled in 4 for 40 yards. Like chemistry throws, first downs, moving the chains. Uncanny trust for Tom Brady and a rookie, especially rookie tight end. So I actually really like K. Dot, and I prefer him to Foster Moreau. But both those guys at 28 and 2,700 on DraftKings, definitely in play today. Pat Frymuth cleared the concussion protocol. He'll be in tonight. Top 7 tight end every single week with those target share that he sees. Actually top 9 because Dalton Schultz, I moved ahead of him off the injury report. We know this is Prescott's boy. He had 13 fantasy points in his first week, 62 yards in that first start. Tight end 5 of last year. Tight end 3 actually in fantasy points last year. Tight end 2 and like the guy is an absolute hog with Dak. He's got his boy back. I'm playing Schultz where I have him this year. Schultz or Everett this week, CJ? What do you think on that one? That's one question I've got.
Schultz has fucked me so bad this year, and I continue to play him every single week. There's absolutely nothing every single week. I'd go Everett.
He redeemed himself this week, but yes, I actually go Everett too. He's my tight end 6 for the week, just as a barometer for you guys out there. 3,600 for Schultz on DraftKings, though.
Yeah, is he going to give me a touchdown this week?
He is. He's going to get you 8 catches and a touchdown.
I needed that.
Yes. And then the last tight end note that I wanted to note is Jelani Woods. Again, complete desperation, 2,500 on DraftKings. Everybody's going to go to Dulcich. First, they're going to go to K-Dot or Foster Moreau, and then Dulcich. Not a bad play as well with Brett Ripien that likes to pepper the tight end. But Jelani Woods is nobody going to play. And they're reportedly the Colts want to foster the connection with him and Matt Ryan. He's had multiple 10-point days. It's a just shitty, gross situation. Mo Alley Cox, 28 snaps, 13 routes. Granson, 31 snaps, 25 routes. Jelani Woods, 31 snaps and 24 routes. It's a shit fest. Like, I can't pretend to tell you this is clean and easy, but if they do want to continue to ratchet up his workload, it's jumped every single week. He makes great plays in the red zone. I love Jelani. I think he's a great athlete. I really like this kid.
Sick athlete, yeah.
Sick athlete, making the most plays of all of these guys. So if he does, like, it's such a high volume role to the tight end. The only issue is just it's like whack-a-mole. We don't know which one's popping up every week. But if he becomes the steady guy, Jelani Woods, he'd have top 15 tight end upside if he becomes that clear-cut lead guy. So that wraps up all our news, Wolfpack. Thank you again so much for being here. Like I just begged for, I'll do it again because I just can't restrain myself. One more thumbs up button as we hit all these for you. Super chats do get preference, and then do call-ins, which we got a couple of you guys waiting.
We have
in the call-in log.
2 super chats coming in too.
All righty, we've got Ryan Hemmings with the pounds over across the pond, baby. TB12 or Dak, and then 2 of these receivers. So let's start with the quarterback question. What do you think, CJ? TB12 or Dak?
Yeah, I like Tom this week. I mean, after last week's disaster, I don't know. I'm still pissed about that, but I just don't trust Dak throwing the ball quite yet. I'm going to go with Tom, a little safer.
I'm going Tom too. It's the first week back. I think there could be a little rust to Dak. I mean, granted, it's against the Lions. Like, even if you're shaking off rust, you might still be throwing touchdowns while you do it.
Yeah.
So I do love Dak. I actually have these guys quarterback 6 and 7 in my rankings. I'm going to go to Tom, though. Entering last week, again, I have no idea what happened, but he had gone for 385 yards and 350 yards the 2 weeks before that. This feels just like they're going to destroy the Panthers, but Brady's going to just keep like breaking their neck. Like, I'm just going to pummel you into existence. That should have been Pittsburgh last week. I don't know what happened, but with the receivers getting healthier and healthier, we saw Godwin play 91% of the snaps. I feel great about these guys. So, yeah, I'm going to go Brady with his full weapons cabinet. Let's see what Dak has this week. Maybe we can go back to him later. But, yeah, give me TB12. I'm with you there, CJ. And then we got some receivers. Who do we got here?
2 from Bateman, Myers, Sutton, or Jamal Williams.
Ooh, okay. So Jamal is my favorite. Lock him into that flex spot, as I imagine what this is coming down to, Ryan. No Swift. Even with Swift, I really liked him anyways. But no Swift today. Great bet to find the end zone, even against a good Denver or Dallas, rather, run D. Then it comes down to Sutton, Myers, or Bateman. I do wish, Ryan, that you had clarified
if it's PPR.
Like, if it's PPR or not, because that does make a big difference. Like, Myers would be probably my favorite here. I think I'd go Sutton over Myers still. I don't know. If it's full
I
PPR, I'd
don't.
probably just take the safe play and go
Yeah,
Myers.
I think I go Myers here.
Yeah. Oh, man. It's a big risk with Sutton here with Ripien. But again, like I said, wide receiver 7, Tim Patrick last year, like got it done. There was no Sutton was out. Judy was not playing. Or no, Judy did play, but Judy just sucks. So I'm going to go. I do think I lean Myers in a full, Sutton and a half. Let's go with that. Let us know what you decide. And we got another super chat coming in. So let me find that from Chris D. Mr. D India. What do we got here?
He's hurting with bye weeks. Do I flex Terry over CEH now? My only other active option is Chuba, who actually, I just got a text that Chuba was named the starter.
Oh, really?
Text from a Beverly policeman.
Is that Ryan Eggs?
Yeah, let me see it 1 second.
Chuba named the starter. Interesting. I have heard them say they consider it a hot hand situation.
I just saw David Newton, ESPN. He's a Carolina guy. Chuba Hubbard officially listed as the starting running back. So, I mean, it could just be a depth chart thing. But.
Definitely just like, I don't know. I think we've seen Foreman the first man up. I think Foreman's the better player. Got to make you a little bit more skeptical to play Foreman today. So I will update my rankings. Again, I don't really want a committee on the worst team in the league anyways. Like, I'm not excited to start these guys. Man. So I'm going to have Foreman drop below Drake, below Gibson, just ahead of Latavius Murray at this point. So that's where I'll have him. And I'll bump Chuba up above Edmonds, above like McKinnon and Rashad White, guys you could probably not use. I do like Dontrell Hilliard.
Schefter just confirmed it too.
Yeah. So Chuba first man up. Maybe I need to bump him up a little more too. Again, a gross situation though, like not something I love. But it does impact the situation because Chuba, I wouldn't go Chuba over CEH. Like we're looking at committees in either backfield. Give me the Chiefs, like no doubt about it. The question does come down to Terry.
I'd go Terry. I think I'd go Terry over him.
Yeah, no Dotson today. Heineke, his boy, loves to pepper him. I think I do go Terry over CEH. I'm with you there. So D&D, we both are in alignment here. It is a good Packers pass D, but I mentioned, I think Rodgers just smashes this team, and they ultimately have a ton of catch up to do. And Terry, he's been okay the last couple of weeks with no Dotson. It's not great, but I'm not going to trust CEH, and I'm not going to trust Chuba. So, yeah, give me Terry. I'm with you there. Tough bye weeks, but good luck, Chris D&D. Let us know what you end up going with. We got another super chat coming in. Thank you guys. Very generous today.
Charlie Manilakis, PPR pick 2 of these: J-Rob, Mostert, Hunt, or J. Will.
Man.
Williams is my lock of the bunch. Maybe.
Yeah, Williams or J. Will. Yes, like it is J. Will for sure. I think Mostert or Hunt is what it comes down to for me. It's not J-Rob at this point. Too game flowy, and it seems like Etienne's slowly taking that role over. What do you think of Mostert versus Hunt? I have him legitimately neck and neck, and I flipped him a couple times.
I think I'm leaning Mostert in that game.
Yeah, Pittsburgh 6 points.
Two back, they won't throw the ball as much, even though Pittsburgh does suck against pass. But I like Mostert. The
good news is Pittsburgh also sucks against the run too. 6 most points allowed on the ground, and it's like even more. I think it's third since Watt. Like they had a good week 1, and since Watt's been out, it's like top 5 in terms of points allowed. Mostert 15, 18, 14 carries the last few weeks. Also ran more routes in back-to-back weeks than Chase Edmonds. So, yeah, I'm with you. Mostert just, the volume's there. Whereas Hunt, good red zone volume. But the game flow is probably good for Hunt today, too, getting down early. I still lean Mostert. But they are my running back 20 and 21. So, neck and neck. And I'm higher, granted, on Hunt than the ECR. I'm +7 on him this week. But, yeah, I'm going to go Hunt, and I'm going to lock in J. Will as my favorite option there. All right, there we go. Thank you guys so much for your generous super chats.
We got another one, 11:30.
Oh, man, I missed another one. Eli, thank you so much. Sorry, I missed that one, Eli. I didn't mean to miss that one.
So bench one of B-Rob, Ramondre, Harris, Pacheco.
I got to bench Pacheco. But like
I do both Patriots backs.
When you said Harris, I was picturing Najee, and then I looked and saw the D in front of it. It is tough going both Pats guys too. Oh man, but it's also against the Bears, who have given up 26 backfield points per game to the running backs. this could definitely be one of those games where like both running backs score at least one, like maybe you get 2 from one back. I'm benching Pacheco. I am excited to see what he does. I'm excited that he's the starter. He's not going to catch many passes, even though he is good in protection. It is a 49ers run D that was the second best in the league. They have a few injuries up front. So there will be, oh man, it's tough. I'm going to go both Pat's guys and go B-Rob though. I'm going to wait and see on Pacheco because I could see him having like a nice like 9-10 carry day, racking up 50 yards, having a couple nice runs, but then ultimately getting you like 6.5. Whereas I think both Pat's guys are good.
No touchdowns. Yeah, and Harris scores.
Harris always scores.
Even if Ramondre is between the 20s or so, I still think Harris will get going.
It's the Bears. They're going to pummel this team. Like they're going to run down their throat. They're a really bad team against the run. And I'm not benching B-Rob after 17 carries. So yeah, I'm going to bench Pacheco there. It gives you a good chance to like try him out. I know it's kind of gross starting both Pat's guys. If you're a significant underdog, maybe you go for the upside of Pacheco, but 95% of the time, I'm going to go both Pat's guys and B-Rob. And another super chat. Thank you guys. Very generous for week 7. A lot of good questions too. So keep them coming in, guys. Thank you so much for your support. It is so greatly appreciated.
Salsa con Tito. Full PPR, should I start Damian Harris over Drake, Hawkinson over Everett, or in flex Juju or Deontay?
All righty. I'm going to go Harris over Drake. There's such a muddy situation there with Ravens for sure. In terms of like Drake probably starts. He looked so good. And that does make me nervous in the sense that like if they just kind of feed him early and often, I think he's going to perform well. This is a really, really, really bad Cleveland team. So there's a lot of upside to Drake. I shouldn't like downplay that. But Justice Hill was not in last week. Gus Edwards hasn't been active all year. Both those guys come in and they've gone to anybody over Drake other than Mike Davis. And all those other guys have just been crossed out or unavailable at this point. So I can't sit here and confidently project Drake for anything more than 8 carries. If he gets 15, he's a smash. He's going to have a huge week. I don't know that I confidently trust that. So I'd rather go Damian Harris, guy that I know will probably get 12 to 15 and some good goal line work. So I'm going to go Damian Harris over Drake. What are your thoughts there, CJ?
Yeah, no, I'm right with you. That backfield's a mess.
It's so frustrating because I keep wanting to emphasize it. Like someone's probably going to have a really big day there, and the best shot at it is Drake. Like he'd be my favorite of the 3 backs. It's such a good matchup.
Like think of Harbaugh. Like he only gave Dobbins like a few carries in his first game back. So he's very protective over those guys.
So yeah, maybe he does just ride Drake into the ground, and Edwards barely plays, and we're all worried about nothing, and maybe but Hill practiced in full all week, and he was the first man up ahead of Drake. Like, what if Hill starts? Nobody be shocked at all to see like 5 minutes before the game. Justice Hill is the first back up, and just like, oh fuck, like here we go. Let's just go with Harris. Like it's safer, good goal line upside, especially against a bad Bears team. So I feel good about Harris here. Then we get to tight end. I'm going Everett over Hawkinson, and I don't really think twice about it. Best matchup for tight ends. All those depleted pass catchers in terms of no Palmer, no Parham, who has been a thorn for Everett these last couple of weeks. Big body, big red zone body, gone for this week. So I love Everett this week. I think he finds the end zone at least once, maybe even twice, and has also going for him the fact that I benched him for Zach Ertz. Guaranteed blow up because he was on my bench. So I really feel good about Everett. We get to this flex, and I know Juju had a great week last week. I got to go Deontay, though. Steelers are bad. I mean, the Dolphins, rather. Both teams, bad secondary. It's like I looked at the matchups, and it is just – I think we could get a nice little shootout tonight if they let Tua kind of sling. Deontay still maintained like 13, 12, like high volume role. I think this is like a really nice game for Deontay Johnson tonight after a couple underwhelming weeks. So I'm going to go Harris, Everett, Deontay. Are we in lockstep, unfortunately, like always?
Yeah. I don't know. I already said how I feel about the Chiefs. I want to stay away from them unless it's Kelsey. So
yeah. I know. I'm not going to buy like Juju suddenly a hog after one good week. He didn't even look that good while racking up the stats. Like he just kind of was like a broken tackle. And he just chugged down the field and didn't even look fast. So I mean, I feel pretty good. And we are in lockstep too. So there you go, Salsa. Thanks again so much for all you guys with your super generous super chats. Again, we'll keep giving preference to them, but we do have a few call-ins on the line. So let's go in the order that we received them, starting with Jordo. What's going on, boys? How about happy Sunday, baby? How are you?
Yeah, happy Sunday. I'm a Lions fan. We'll see. And me talking shit to you a couple weeks ago didn't really work. Didn't score a point. So Anyway, all my
got
leagues
zapped.
what's that?
You got zapped.
Yeah, we did. So all my leagues are PPR. Should I start Njoku or Schultz against my Lions?
Ooh, that's a good one.
I trust Njoku a little more, but the upside of Schultz is a little better, I think.
You read it the exact same way that I do. I have a hard time benching Njoku after the last few weeks. Like all year, he's been pretty steady. 24, 10, 15, and 9 the last 4 weeks. Like that's pretty bankable. And I do think the script is going to be pretty good where they'll have to throw even more often. So I feel pretty good about the safety of Njoku. It gives you a chance to see Dak, see Schultz. I really like the play of Schultz this week. Like I'm huge in on him. I'm +9 ECR. I've got him at 7, but I do have Njoku at 5. So I feel a little bit better about Njoku today. What about you, CJ?
Yeah, I like Njoku. Actually, I love his props today. I think he's going to score. I mean, Schultz just keeps fucking me. So
he's fucked me quite a bit. He was part
Do you
of
want another go around, or has it been fun getting fucked by Schultz? Let's bet on that. Right?
No, it hasn't.
Man. It's been a bad year.
Yeah.
So I have a super flex league as well. I have Josh Allen on bye, and I don't want to get rid of anybody for another quarterback. So I have Evans, St. Brown, and Mike Williams. I got to start 2 of those.
Damn, Evan St. Brown and Mike Williams.
Yeah.
Whew.
It's a pretty small.
Man.
It's a smaller league, but too small for me. It makes this decision.
You said both their full PPR, right?
Yeah.
St. Brown, like I'm not benching him. I think he's getting 12 targets, 8 to 10 catches today. I love St. Brown today, so I can't bench him, especially with everybody else out around there. You're a Detroit fan. Is Reynolds out? Have you got any news on that one yet?
I think so. I think him and Chark.
I know Chark's out too. Reynolds was questionable entering the week, so maybe he's even out too. And even if not, I don't think that ends up changing my answer. I'm going to still go St. Brown, and then Evans is my 9. Mike Williams is my 8. What time? Carolina and the Bucs are at 1 too, though. So the tricky thing is like if Keenan Allen ends up playing, I would much rather have Mike Evans than Mike Williams.
Yeah.
If Keenan Allen sits, I'd rather have Mike Williams.
I really need Keenan Allen to play this week.
I kind of like an Evans bounce back.
Just a 2-touchdown like Evans smash week.
They're gonna destroy the Panthers. So.
They are. They're gonna murder the Panthers. I do go Mike Williams. Reading the tea leaves, I think Keenan Allen sits. I think Mike Williams has like a 25, 30-point day. So I'm going to go Mike Williams. I think Evans is a little bit safer. I know ECR-wise, like I'm higher on Mike by 4. I'm lower on Evans by 3. So like most people would say go Evans. CJ saying go Evans. Probably
I need more upside because I got with Allen being on a bye week, I need upside. So, and I'm 5-1 in this league, so it's not really a giant deal.
Yeah. The tricky thing is like both these guys kind of the same play. They're both pretty boom or bust with like a little bit of a better floor for Evans. I can't say one has like a clear higher ceiling than the other just because they're both like 2 to 3 touchdown threats every given week. Evans, though.
You just froze.
Am I there? Am I back?
Slowly. I think you're good.
Yeah, I'm going Williams. What about you, CJ? Williams or Evans?
I'm going Evans.
And do you lock in St. Brown over both of them like me, CJ?
Yeah, I do.
Okay, cool.
I have him in Josh Allen's spot because I'm expecting big things.
Big things indeed. I'm with you in all my DraftKings lineups. Awesome, Jordan. Well, thanks again for the call and best of luck. I hope it all works out for you.
All right. Thanks, boys.
Cheers. See ya. All right, another call in with our guy, Kevin Rice, a weekly staple. What's going on, brother?
So it's kind of the same question that I had earlier in the week. I haven't been able to play Pierce yet. It's a PPR, but I have Henry and Eckler. So I have to bench one of these 4. So it's DK Metcalf, Michael Pittman, Pierce, and Mike Williams.
Oh, God. We have to bench one of them?
Yeah, I haven't been able to play Pierce yet, and he's been blowing up on my bench.
I'm not benching Pierce. Like he's been a monster, as you said, every single week, and they just keep talking about how they want to get him more and more carries. So I'm not benching him. It comes down to the receivers, DK, Mike, and who was the last one? DK, Mike Williams?
Pittman.
Oh, boy. I think I benched DK there. And I mean, all those guys are my top 12 receivers. Pittman 7, Mike Williams 8, and then DK's 11. And I like DK a lot this week too, though. But I think I bench DK. The only way that flips. So it comes down to let's play Pittman at 1. He's facing Tennessee's second most points allowed to wide receivers, coming off a 13 target day. I can't not play Pittman. But then it comes down to Williams versus Metcalf. So let's say Keenan Allen's in. I'm going to swap Metcalf then in. Let's say Lockett's out. Metcalf again above Williams, even if Keenan's also out. So I think you can play the news here. If Keenan's out with all those other pass catchers out, I don't see how Williams does anything but have 110-2. But if Keenan is playing, I think we then flop him, and then go DK Metcalf. Does that make sense, Kev?
That's pretty advanced. That's why you got to call in for these answers. You can't beat it.
We get to talk it all out. But yeah, play Pierce today at 1, play Pittman in there, and then use whatever info we gain between now and 4:25 before that game kicks off. But probably leaning Williams unless, again, Keenan Allen's in.
Awesome. All right. Thanks, boys. Appreciate it.
Cheers. Thanks for the call in as always, Kevin. All righty. And then we're pulling in our boy David. I don't know.
The streak.
What's going on, guys?
The streak has ended, but you tell us.
Anniversary.
You have an explanation. And
anniversary
I think I know
dinner.
what it is.
So, yeah, it was the anniversary dinner.
Is that a good excuse?
Anniversary dinner. Is your excuse?
You couldn't go to the bathroom. You couldn't say you forgot something in the car. You couldn't say anything like that.
And you know what, David? I will give you credit because I saw you had popped in really quickly. Like I saw you. I don't know if you had to leave early. If we had gotten to you a few minutes earlier, I know you were there. You were present. You were live in the chat at one point. So you tried. I'll give it to you. Fine. We'll give you this 1 week excuse.
Exactly.
Happy anniversary, though, by the way, as well. Happy anniversary.
Oh, thank you. So I'm in a full PPR league. I have Mostert and Pierce going as my RB starters. So in my flex, I'm torn between Zeke, AJ Dillon, or your love affair of Jeff Wilson.
Zeke, Jeff Wilson, or AJ Dillon? Just one?
Yeah. Full PPR.
I'm going to go Zeke. I feel really good about Zeke this week. Facing Detroit, great matchup. I think they're going to pummel them. I think the Lions will get their own little shit and catch up mode at the end. But I think this could be like a Zeke 2 touchdown day. If you're not using Zeke this week, when are you going to use him? And Dillon's been so inconsistent. Good week for him too against Washington. That's a Dillon script week. But I can't trust CH. I'm certainly not trusting Jeff Wilson with C-Mac there. He's cuttable at this point. We can get rid of Jeff Wilson. I think this is a good week for Zeke. I have him high in my rankings. I like him at 6K on DraftKings with no ownership going his way too. I think Zeke and Pollard are actually both in play, but I got Zeke as my top 17 running backs this week and feel really good about it. So that's the lock to me.
Yeah,
nice.
I
Thanks,
like
guys.
too.
Thank you. Remember, everybody,
well,
comment,
happy anniversary
subscribe,
again, David.
Share.
Doing our job for us. Likes and subs. Great to see you. Happy anniversary again, brother. Hopefully we'll see you later tonight too.
Yep. Have a good one.
You too. All righty. And we got CJ's number one fan calling in as well. What's going on, Ben?
And we got the newest firefighter in Massachusetts.
I know. Congratulations. Newest Massachusetts firefighter, baby. Great to see. Congratulations. Big week for our boy. Cheers.
It'd be nice to actually enjoy a Sunday where I can drink and not have to worry about getting up at 5 a.m.
Yes, indeed. Absolutely. How can we help you out, my man?
Dude, just wanted to say, CJ, you look phenomenal as always.
Thank you, sir.
And I'm going to need Pickens or Alec Pierce, PPR. George Pickens.
Boy. Two of my favorite wide receiver 3 plays this week. Oh, man. That's a tough one. My gut just immediately said Pickens. What about you, CJ?
I love Pierce. I'm going Pierce myself.
Oh, good. Glad we could be helpful for you. But I just looked too. I have Pickens wide receiver 34 and Alec Pierce 35. So couldn't be any closer in the rankings here. Oh man, that's tough. But yeah, I'm gonna go Pickens. My gut said it. I checked my rankings to confirm it. That Miami secondary, unless they locked on Xavier Howard to him, and I don't think they do that. And even then, he's been giving up some scores this year too. I feel good about Pickens. I do. So I'm going to go Pickens. Are you leaning one way or the other?
I was thinking Pierce just because I don't like the quarterbacks from Pittsburgh, but that's like the only thing I don't like about Pickens.
Yeah, I can see that too. I think Pierce has a better floor as well. Like given that he's had, 9, 12, 16, 14. I also am starting Pierce. So like we can kind of root for him together if you want that. If I remember correctly, last time we did that, we were at the brewery at Old Planners and like the guy we both were rooting for had a long touchdown. So maybe we align ourselves this week, Ben, and Alec Pierce just goes off for a nice beastly 50-yard touchdown. Why don't we do that?
I'll take it. I have like everybody and their mother on bye, so it's like those are literally my two options.
I mean, that's pretty good for bye week fill-ins. I've gotten a lot worse questions than that. Let's put it that way this week. So I'm deciding the same thing in my college league, Pierce versus Pickens. And you know what? Maybe we'll just go all in on Pierce today. I'm going to decide. I'm going to flip it in the rankings right now so they reflect it. Let's do it, baby.
Yep. Let's ride, baby.
Awesome. Well, good luck, sir. And maybe we'll check in later tonight. And congrats again on the exciting news this week, sir.
Absolutely. Thank you, fellas. I really appreciate it.
Yeah. All right. Cheers.
Oh, and we got Ben Tomsik's number one fan.
Ben Tomsik's number one fan. What's going on?
I have no ill words towards Mr. Tomsik this week. I hope he wins all his fantasy matchups, and congratulations, my friend.
Look at that. A surprisingly lack of hostility from Eggs. I don't think I like this. I think we're cutting this call off right now. Done with it.
All right, real quick. So I have Hurts on a bye. I'm about to smash JMRs this week. Obviously, my team's fucking nasty. I have Geno in there right now, and I'm obviously thinking about rolling him. Is anyone of these shit bums worthy of a start over him between Goff, Lawrence, Daniel Jones, Jimmy G, Matty Ice? Like any of those matchups? No.
Matty Ice is the closest one to move the needle for me, but even then, I have Geno in my top 10. He's been rock solid all year. I know last week was like a weird dud. He had like 13 points, but 20, 32, 24 points in 3 weeks before that. I think the Chargers do their damage. I think last week was more of an issue of like the Cardinals just kind of being shit bums and not creating the right atmosphere. I don't think we'll have that issue. The play with Geno's Ben, they get down and then he has to chuck. I think that's the play this week too. So I'm a big fan of Geno this week. My DraftKings guy, 5,600. I'm going all in on him too. So
nice.
I actually just
maybe
switched.
we'll win $1 million.
Yeah, I just switched out Goff for Geno myself in DraftKings.
Oh, there you go.
Sweet.
Me and CJ have been scouring the prop bets for some good ones. We got No House, Prize Picks, whatever. I just want to give you my best one real quick.
Absolutely.
My biggest one. This is just to make the boys some money. You got to go with me and CJ make it hard on ourselves.
Your camera just came off. Where are you?
I know. Hold on 1 second. Me and CJ every week we pick like the hardest things of all time instead of just like picking Cooper Kupp just catch 9 balls for 90 yards.
Yeah, we were talking about it yesterday. We'll be like,
you
oh,
gotta
like
sweat out
Nikhil.
like a backup running back for 2
Yeah,
catches.
we'll be like, oh, we really love like Nikhil Harry over 2 receptions, and then we'll be like Kupp over 76 yards. Nobody gets that. He gets that in like the first 5 minutes.
Yeah.
All right, Fournette over 4 receptions. I think that's a lock. Debo less than 15.5 rushing yards with CMC there. I like that one. PJ Walker, fucking shit bum, under 140.5 yards. I don't think without McCaffrey, and he just sucks anyways. Aaron Jones, 13.5 fantasy points. He's been shitty for a couple weeks. Looking for a rebound. And a big Tony Pollard day. I think he's going to go over 9.5 fantasy points.
I love the Pollard call, especially. I think he's going to have like an 18-point day, double that one up. So.
Yeah.
Nice. Well, you heard it first from our prize picks maestro over there, Danny Heggs. So cheers, man. Thanks for the picks. Good luck with Geno today. Hope you crush it.
All right. See you guys.
Cheers. And that did remind me that we have to quickly let you guys know about a great sponsor of our show. No House Advantage is changing the game by offering the most dynamic fantasy sports platform available today. Play in pick'em contests versus other people for the shot at winning $250K plus in cash. Download the app, choose a contest, select your player props, earn points for correct picks, and climb the leaderboard for your shot to win big money every day. You can also test your skills versus the house and 20 times your entry. You hit all your picks. Bet on up to 5-player prop over-unders or individual player matchups across every major sports league, including NFL, NBA, MLB, PGA, MMA, and NASCAR. Sign up now with promo code RSJ at nohouseadvantage.com or download the app on the app stores to get your first deposit matched up to $25. Make sure to check out No House Advantage today and experience daily fantasy sports redefined, because it's not just how you play, but also where you play. You will not want to miss out on this. Tons of overlay. It's still only like half filled today's contest for a shot at like 20K. Go for it, Wolfpack. Go get it. Go nail it. CJ, did you have 4 picks for today, or are you still working out your favorite?
No, I do. I messed up the graphic. Whenever I do this and I try to talk and do these graphics, I always mess it up. But I'll just say them quickly. I like Jared Goff to throw an interception. I like Fournette. He had the Fournette receptions, but I like that, and I also like the 30.5 receiving yards. Gerald Everett over 36.5 receiving yards, and CEH under 34 rushing yards.
Love them all. This I always get worried of like the rushing yards, like even the Debo one that he brought up, Heggs. He just
it only takes one carry.
I get the thesis of like his volume's going to go down. It will, but one end around for like 20 yards is very, very doable for Debo. So I would avoid that one. I like the rest of the ones he brought up. I love all the ones you brought up, including I think CH is a different one because he is a volume-based runner. To get to 34.5, if Pacheco's taking the majority of the carries, it would be real tough.
There are some other ones that I like. Amon-Ra, it's 9 targets. You mentioned Aaron Jones. I like Aaron Jones to score, Saquon to score. I love my new thing. I love the field goal props of 1.5 for like Brett Maher, the Cowboys kicker, and I also like what's his name, the Bengals guy, McPherson.
McPherson always a great bet.
They always stall out in that area. Wandale over 3 receptions. Pollard 37.5 rushing yards. ETN 15 receiving yards.
A lot of interesting ones there. I like the Pollard one a lot too because I get similar to like Debo. That could be one play for Pollard. We saw a 75-yard touchdown last game out against a much better defense. So yeah, I love all those. So Wolfpack, again, check out No House Advantage. Great app, code RSJ, so they know we sent you. Do your boys a solid. Greatly, greatly appreciated. All right, let's get to the actual mailbag with all these. I love the Sunday call. This has been like the best new edition of our site so far this offseason. So many generous super chats. If you do want to jump the line, we'll probably close the call-ins for now. But if you want to jump the line, super chat's the way to do it. I'll probably fire up a rapid fire in about 20 minutes or so because we do need to I have to get some lineups set myself. I have a couple where I don't have kickers in right now. So I do have to sign off by 12:40. We'll see if we can get through all the mailbag well before that. Starting off with Giuseppe Russo at 9:19. CJ, can you read this one and start answering it? I got to plug in my
he actually has a bunch of questions, so we can kind of just hit them.
Why don't you just start like rip it through? I'll hear you as you go, and I plug in my computer.
All right, Giuseppe, happy Sunday, fellas. Sutton, Ayuk, Mooney, or Pierce, full PPR. I think there I'm going Ayuk. I still don't trust Mooney. Actually, I do like Pierce a lot. Sutton, not too much. I think for me, I'm going Ayuk, but I think that's also I think he's the highest on Wolves rankings too. Are you Ayuk here?
I'm going Ayuk over Sutton today. Yep.
And then Giuseppe also picked 2 flex: Monty, Mostert, Najee, Keenan, London, or Cooks PPR.
So we're going Ayuk in the first one. I'm there. I'm with you. And then
pick 2 of these. I'd probably you were
Keenan
higher
in a full
on
PPR is playing. I'm gonna go Keenan. I'm trying to think of I don't think I'm gonna go Monty. I'm lower on Monty this week. Just because it's a hot hand situation. It's the Pats. I think they're gonna take out.
And you can also wait too because he's Monday night. So
yeah. So Najee and Mostert are both tonight too. So this does give you some flexibility to kind of wait it out. I don't know how I feel about London or Cooks either. Like I'm not really all in on either one of them. Can blow up on any given week, but Cooks has been significantly underwhelming. And London, like if they can run the ball 100 times and throw it 5, they will. So I don't love either receiver. I know PPR wise, like both of them have high ceilings. I think I'm leaning Najee, Mostert, keep all the spots open till 425. And then if Keenan plays, maybe you get him in over Mostert. I liked what I saw out of Najee this week, like last week, though. The played out, he looked the best he's looked all year. I was a little more involved as a receiver, but certainly in the red zone, too. And I think the Steelers will move the ball fine on Miami. So I think I'm leaning Najee Mostert here, unless Keenan plays and is like fully active and good to go, which I don't expect. But yeah, Najee and Mostert are both top 20 running backs for me, so I feel okay about it. I don't know. What about you, CJ?
Yeah, I mean, here you can wait. So I think I would. If Keenan's active, I'm playing him. I don't think they're going to risk him. As you said, they have the bye next week. So if he is active, then I would just play him.
Yeah.
I hate Najee so much. I'd probably go Keenan Mostert.
Okay.
And then if Keenan sits, then I will go with the running backs.
Yeah, instead of Monty. Like, you're not going to go Monty over Najee, are you?
No.
Yeah.
No,
Alrighty. So we're pretty lockstep there too. So wait it out so that way you can see if Keenan plays. I'm just not London and Cooks. I wish like a couple of weeks ago, London would have been my lock, set and forget. But they're just like they're playing games with him. Like Pitts is out and he runs 60% of the routes. I don't get it. The Falcons' offense is like so frustrating, and they keep winning too. I don't know. Yeah, let's go.
I know, and it's making like that idiot coach like look smart because he's not using any of his weapons, but they keep winning for some reason.
They keep winning. Yeah. Makes no sense. All right, Giuseppe, we got another one.
Another
we got to get some other people.
PPR, Keenan, Lazard, Cooks, London. That's kind of the same with me. I mean, Keenan.
I would go. What time does Lazard play? Are they 1?
They might be 1 o'clock actually.
And then like Cooks and London are definitely 1, if I'm not mistaken. So like if you don't go one of those guys hoping that Keenan plays, then you're kind of fucked. So I would probably just go Lazard. I think he's going to catch a touchdown like fairly easily today. So I'm going to go Lazard there. What about you?
Yeah, there you can't really wait. So yeah, I'll go Lazard with you.
Yeah. Alrighty, cool.
Pat Fryer, Everett, PPR.
Everett, baby. I'm all in on Everett this week.
We also have a little super chat. Ryan Hegarty says, I bet Tom Six number 1 fan goes 0 for 5 with those props. Gross. little brother rivalry.
I had to super chat us to make sure to talk some shit to his little brother. I fucking love it. Good shit. That's what we're here for. Awesome stuff.
Y2J, start a risky Keenan or take my chance with Curtis Samuel or Pierce. I like Pierce.
I would go Pierce there. It's too bad. Like, I wish you had an option that you could wait it out for. Are we sure that the Packers game?
Yeah, it's 1 o'clock.
It's 1 o'clock. Okay. And I can't trust Curtis Samuel right now. I can't. After last week's dud, and then you got Heineke coming in. I actually just looked at my rankings. I had Samuel way too high, so I'm adjusting that as we speak. I had him above Pierce, and I don't feel that at all. So yeah, I like Alec Pierce here. You can't really wait it out, and I think Pierce is gonna have another good one. He's got double digits, 12 or more in 3 straight. Like that kid's a stud. I really like Pierce.
Yeah, I agree. Y2J, Pitts or Fry?
Fry. I'm not going Pitts. Fuck Pitts.
I hate Pitts. Giuseppe, Jared Goff or Stafford rest of season?
I feel. Oh man. Probably Stafford.
I kind of like Goff.
I do too, but Stafford's schedule does get way easier. It doesn't mean the line's going to get any better. But like with him showing a connection with like A-Rob for the first time last week, maybe they come out of the bye and just kind of like
his elbow maybe feels a little better. I don't know.
I do. Yeah, exactly. So I feel better about Stafford rest of season. Like I do think the narrative for Goff with the horrible defense all year, that's going to exist. And then Jameson comes back. So they are neck and neck in my rest of season rankings, but I go Stafford there. What you said, Goff?
I think so. I'll roll with you with Stafford just to make it easier on Giuseppe. Yeah. But
alrighty. Oh, we got a super chat. You guys are very generous today. I appreciate it. Let's find Timothy Gray. Hold on. Where there he is.
I really want Gus Edwards on my bench, but Darrell Henderson is the only player I can drop. Who would you rather have rest of season? I'd go Henderson.
Yeah, I think I go Henderson too. It seems like Akers has definitely played his last snap there. We know he's like a 12-ish point a week guy when he's the starter. The ceiling's low, but like if I came in and said Gus Edwards is going to get you 12 points a week the rest of the season, you'd be pumped. Like, yeah, great. We know that's kind of what Henderson is at this point, whereas Gus is definitely far more hypothetical, much more like, how does he look? How is his health? I don't think we ever see Gus like beat a 12-point ceiling either, because even if he was the lead guy, he's still going to have all the other ones cheese nibbling away too. So I think Henderson just the clearer cut. The only real issue with Henderson would be like, is Kyron Williams actually going to be heavily involved? But like, he also hasn't lasted more than 3 minutes in a single game, whether it's the preseason or regular season either. So I just feel better about Henderson. I know it's not sexy or new, but
yeah, like, you're getting almost like a guaranteed, not a fantasy RB1, but like a team's RB1.
My question here, Tim, is like, if you want to see what Edwards does today, can you pick him up, like keep him there, drop a kicker, and then pick up like a 425, like the Bertolono guy for the I don't know how to say his last name, but the guy for the Chargers.
The Chargers.
He had 12 points on his only start so far this year. He plays at 425. Boswell plays tonight. Nick Folk plays Monday night. Like, there's some kickers out there that you could maybe try it out, see if Edwards does come in and have like 15 carries in his first game off of the surgery and 2 touchdowns, like then yeah, of course you wouldn't want to cut him, and then we figure it out from there. But I would say see if you can get a tryout, see how Edwards looks, see what his involvement is. Even though I don't think we're going to learn a ton about him today, you never just know. So maybe you have a kicker that you can expend and see. And then what if you're up like huge after one and maybe you don't even need to drop Edwards and you don't even need a kicker? Like I would say if your league allows that, why not? I think it's such an underrated strategy to keep gaining information and then eventually pick up a kicker, because all kickers are just kind of random at this point. So, but if it's one or the other, I'm definitely playing Henderson, or keeping Henderson rather. I'm with you there, CJ. Just like a locked in 11 to 12, low ceiling but high floor. I think about that and it's like, yeah, if Gus Edwards was promised like 11 points a week, I'd feel amazing about it. Like,
also, like J.K. Dobbins looked terrible after his ACL. Edwards could be the same thing. Who knows?
Yeah, maybe this coaching staff or the training staff is just
They're rushing him back too early or something.
I thought one of my favorite tweets I've seen in a long time was Scott Bair. I don't know if you saw that one where it was like the Giants trainer. And like Kadarius Toney steps on like a ladybug and like tears his hamstring. Giants trainer, get the leeches out, because it's this like ancient guy that like
he was
like
there since I actually looked him up. The guy died like 7 years ago.
Oh, did he?
The pitcher was from the Super Bowl against the
Patriots. Oh man. Okay.
But I mean, still, he was there for like 60 years or something.
Yeah, he really was leeching his players over there. All righty. We got
there's a sub comment below it that was like player like sprains ankle, let's cut his leg off. Stuff like that.
Amputation time, yeah.
Fatty Mateo, you with CJ. I'm a slight favorite. 3-3 need a big win. Matty, Ice, or Goff.
So again, a slight favorite, like doesn't really do much, like whether you need ceiling or floor, it's kind of similar. And then either way, like Matty Ice versus Goff, there's no floor here. Like I'd like to say Ice is a little bit safer just because they chucked it 37 times in the first half last week. Like, you know, Matt Ryan has the completions record in a game for the Colts after last
but
week.
He also has like 2 games of 50 throws, doesn't he?
That's what I'm saying. Like, he had the most completions of the game because of the volume over Peyton Manning, over Andrew Luck. Like, it's mind blowing. So I guess like safety wise, Ryan's a little safer because Goff sucks under pressure, and like the Cowboys, if their defense is pretty good and they're especially good at pressuring, so that makes me a little nervous. I guess I'd go Ryan if I like am in a mediocre matchup here. I'd probably go.
I like Goff's ceiling a little bit better. I think Amon-Ra is going to cook Diggs. I don't know. I'll go Ice with you.
All right.
It's kind of a coin flip there.
It is. Like, neither's really safe by any means.
Nicola, Tunyon, Schultz, or Hurst?
I'm gonna go Schultz. I feel pretty good about just firing Schultz back with his guy Dak back.
I have that same problem with Schultz or Hurst, and I'm going Schultz this week.
There we
go.
It's
probably bad. It's probably bad for you because I'm like 0 for 7 with tight ends this year. David Campanelli, standard tight end pick 1, Njoku or Schultz?
Njoku. We got that one earlier. That's one of the few guys I do have above Schultz. You want to click him? I'm sorry, I keep clicking him and then like moving it on you.
Oh yeah, sure, that's fine. Pollard or Dillon?
I'm gonna go Pollard.
Yeah, I like Pollard a lot.
Yeah.
Gino or Goff?
Gino. I feel better about Gino today.
Everett, Otten, or Gesicki?
Everett. Lock Everett in.
And then Juan Pena, who for my flex, Jamal Williams, Judy, Duvernay, Herbert, or Drake?
It's all shit, and then Jamal's like clearly way above all them, Pena. Yeah.
Campanelli, remember when to like, subscribe, comment.
Yeah, we got about 50 of you here. Keep those likes coming up. It does. Again, we wouldn't beg for it if it didn't genuinely help us. You guys have helped us grow so much. We're pushing 3K too. If you're new here, you haven't already, please do consider subscribing and help us hit that 3K goal on the season. 2,700 right now. We're bumping up by the week because of guys like you, all you fans out there. Thank you so much for being here.
I just got a text from Ryan Hegarty Schefter. No Kedrick Bourne tomorrow night.
Trade happening.
Sounds like it. Yeah.
So tomorrow night, I love that you said that. I'm just going to quickly pause the question. We'll get right to you, Sebastian. I don't mind like tomorrow night. If you've got some bench trash you're cutting, pick up Bourne, stash him on the bench, see what happens. And as you mentioned right there, Tyquan Thornton as well, much more usable this week. So I need to change that. But Thornton, 2 touchdowns last week. Like now that we know that role is going to be on lock, I bump him right alongside Devontae Parker at wide receiver 50-ish, but Renfro a little bit up above MBS.
I hate Matt Patricia so much.
I do too.
He's such a clown.
Weirdly, the offense, like by a lot of metrics, has actually been pretty okay this year. Yeah, so let me just get Bourne out of my rankings too.
Yeah, I just searched it on Twitter. Mike Giardi says it's turf toe, but who knows?
Please. It's trade. It's the trade bug. So yeah, I think it makes both Bourne and Thornton. I'd probably rather stash Thornton myself, actually, now that you say that, CJ. I'm glad you brought his name up. Again, 2 touchdowns last week, really electric player, was lighting up camp. Fastest player in this year's draft. Definitely a much more intriguing stash with Bourne, I think, likely out of here. And Bourne himself, like, what if he goes to the Packers? Then I'd have him above Thornton. So, like
I'm already thinking of like, I'm going to be texting you like, oh, Bourne was traded for like a 7th round pick of like 3 years from now. I just know they always get the worst return.
It's going to be nothing. Yeah, exactly. And they signed to such a big deal. All right, back to you, Sebastian.
Half PPR flex, pick 2, Drake, Gallup, Juju.
Oh,
I like the first 2, I think.
I think so too. I don't trust Juju or that's Chiefs offense, really. I mean, I trust the offense to put up points. I just don't trust like who's going to be every week.
Yeah, I agree. Sebastian, Alex, Henry, or Hawk?
I go Hawk. Better defense, sure, than the Bears are, but like Henry's had 1 good game this year. I'm not going to bank on that. I guess Hawk hasn't really had much more than 1 good game either, but it was like a 35-pointer. So
yeah, that's true.
Yeah.
Fatty, Mateo, full PPR, need a receiver 2 and a flex. DK, Lazard, Lockett, B-Rob.
I'm going to go Metcalf 100%. And then it's like, oh, man, like I like Lockett probably more than Lazard, but I don't love the idea of locking both those guys in. So I'll probably go Lazard here. I do like B-Rob with like a 15 to 20 carry upside too, but in a full PPR, I'm going to go at least 1 Seahawks guy. I'm going to prefer Metcalf. I'll go Lazard there too for the other option.
Fatty, Mateo, full PPR, Kittle or Njoku? How the mighty have fallen, huh?
Yeah, I actually like Njoku.
I love Njoku's props this week too.
Yeah.
Jeff Lee, half PPR, pick 1 running back, Jamal, Gus Bus, or Deion Jackson.
Definitely not Deion with Taylor, Hines, all that. Can't be him.
It's Jamal.
It's Jamal. Oh yeah. Sorry, I saw the other one was Gus. Yeah, it's Jamal. Didn't waste too much time.
Lee Kresner, thoughts on McCaffrey? Start him as RB1-2 today.
Yep. Yeah, you play him. It's tough because who knows how many plays he's in. But I have a hard time imagining they give up 4 picks, huge game, Chiefs, one of the biggest games of the year. Unless they start getting blown out early, I think McCaffrey gets 12 to maybe even 20. Like, I don't know. It is obviously a more complex run scheme than most, but it's McCaffrey. Like, it's fucking McCaffrey. He's going to be okay. I play him no matter what, pretty much. What about
people forget his dad played in the same scheme.
Yeah, as receiver, but yes, that's true. Well, I saw a great there's an Adam Schefter tweet. It's like things come full circle, and McCaffrey played for the dad, and now the sons are lined. I saw a great tweet. I don't want to butcher it, so why don't you pull up the next question? I gotta read.
So I feel like Schefter. I feel like people were kind of like asleep at that time, and Schefter didn't get the retweets he wanted from the McCaffrey break. So that's why he just keeps tweeting about the same thing, trying to get more impressions.
Yeah, hold on. This here crazy. When Christian McCaffrey was a kid, Kyle Shanahan used to sell him weed and make him listen to his freestyle in Acura Integra. Now he's starting running back for Shanahan's Niners. Full circle. It's just like believable too.
Yeah,
I love it. All righty, back to you, Jeff.
Jeff Lee, half PPR, pick 2, Tyquan. Hey, does he have inside information? Tyquan, Dubes, or Wandale?
I'm going to bench Tyquan there, even with Bourne out. Like, he's definitely the least, proven at this point.
Mm-hmm.
I feel really good about Wandale, to be honest, this week. And just in general, off the injury report. So I think we get, his first full snap game of the year. And remember, 11 routes last week, targeted on 4 of them. he was an immediate target hog when he was in. So I could see him running 35, 40 routes this week and getting 10 targets. So I feel good about Rondale. And Romeo, do we have any news? Is Watkins officially active, CJ? Do we know?
Yes, he is.
Officially active. So makes Dubs a little bit riskier, but not enough to bench him for Thornton, in my opinion. What about you?
Yeah, I mean, we both like Wandale. I like Wandale's props today, too. I like Dubes better than Tyquan. I still, even though the Patriots offense has looked better, I still don't love it.
Yeah.
Just in my brain, I just don't like the offense.
Agreed.
1 Pena, who for my receiver. 2 Pierce, Duvernay, Judy.
I'm going Pierce. I like Pierce there. What about you?
Me too.
And yeah, Mike Williams locked into 1. Like it.
Jeremiah Moore, Herbert, or Gibson? I'm going Herbert.
You going Herbert? Yeah, I am too. Because they're apparently riding the hot hand. This could be the week he takes over.
Lee Kresner, if you have to start one of the Chiefs, who is a Pacheco or a CEH? Full PPR.
Full PPR, probably CEH. I have CEH just a little higher still.
I still think CEH will be the goal line back.
I do too. Unless we get that confirmed for Pacheco, it could be an empty calories type of guy, less empty than a Tyler Algier because the offense is so much better. But it could just be kind of between the 20s, 8 to 10 carries and 40 to 50 yards. And I'm not going there unless. Yeah, I go CEH. That's all to say.
Yeah,
I'll go
me too.
CEH there.
Jeremiah Moore, keeping the Gus Bus on IR.
Yeah.
You can, yeah. Why not?
Yeah, if you're allowed to and you don't have to make any moves, go for it.
Ryan Heggs, ETN, or Jamal Williams in his flex?
I like Jamal. Locked in, starter, already a good goal line back. I like Williams more.
And then Heggs again. Ramondre number is going to shrivel because Damian Harris is back.
Comfort you. Come hither. Come on over to Madison Ave. We'll comfort you, Heggs. It's certainly going to take a little bit of a toll. I mean, 89, 90% of the snaps the last couple of weeks, that's not going to happen with Harris back. I think Ramondre has proven enough, though, that he'll be the driver's seat still. So that becomes, 60-40, 55-45.
I was going to say, wasn't it Harris's last healthy game? Wasn't it 60-40-ish?
It already kind of was trending that way, and Mondre's only thrived. And then there is the upside. What if Belichick's no, Mondre, you've shown enough. We're just going to unload you, and Harris is just a mere handcuff. I don't think that's the case. That scenario exists, and even if it doesn't, Mondre's going to be all right. I think
Belichick up to his frisky waves where he's like, hey, you're a free agent next year. We're going to murder your numbers for this year so we can sign you for cheaper next year.
Exactly. Yeah, maybe that's what he does to Harris, the free agent. I think Mondre is definitely the lead. I think he's still a locked-in running back too. I just think the difference is he goes from locked-in top 5 guy to a top 15 guy instead. Good play still, not your ceilings of the friggin' McCaffrey type stuff, but still a good play.
JDM, hello. I'm sitting Sutton and starting Pierce. What do you think?
So I don't hate it. I personally wouldn't. I have Sutton in a top 20 guy and Pierce more of a top 30. But man, trust your gut. Honestly, it's not indefensible. I'm bumping Sutton more and more down. The more I think about it, I just keep coming back to the fact that Tim Patrick had top 7 receiver day with Brett Ripien, and he locked in on him. That was his guy. And kind of every now and again that happens with a backup. They come in, they have a guy that they just go with. I don't know if that's going to be Sutton or not, but he's been the guy of this offense. So that's my money. If I'm going to put my money on one of them, it'd be Sutton. Mm-hmm. So I do go Sutton, but man, it's almost crazy to say Pierce might have a higher floor. He really might. And he's got a similar ceiling. It's not, and that's not crazy. It really isn't. As crazy as it once seemed. That's not crazy. What about you, CJ? What are your thoughts?
I think if I'm playing it safe, I guess I'd go with Sutton. I do like. I know that's. I think the name is just safer.
The name is safer. Yeah, that's it.
Or starting Pierce. I don't know. Pierce is more fun. Let's go. And this guy, he's already saying he's sitting Sutton.
Yeah. So at the end of the day, trust your gut. This, I will say this. There are situations where someone's this is what I'm going to do. What are your thoughts? I'm no, you're fucking moron.
He basically
don't do
wants.
that.
He wants us to confirm what he's doing. He's going to do.
He's
going to do it.
I have Sutton higher,
yeah.
But this is not one where I'd be no, you're wrong. Do not do this. You're overthinking it. You're being too cute. That's not the case. They're in a very similar tier. Yeah, it's not indefensible. Like, trust your gut in this case, and if your gut says Pierce, it's not unbelievable. So yeah, I would go. I don't hate it.
Yeah, let's go Pierce. Good morning, Andrea.
Good to see you. She's always so polite. Always comes in and says good morning.
Apex, which Cowboy, PPR, Pollard or Gallup?
Pollard.
I love Pollard.
Yeah, I do too. Pollard. And I like Gallup today too, but I'm going to go Pollard there.
Another Gallup question for Andrea. Need one receiver, one flex. Gallup, Lazard, Pierce. I think the last
Damian Pierce. Definitely. Oh, we get two of them, though. I bench Gallup here, yeah. I like Gallup this week. I do, but I'm going to bench him for those other options. I'm gonna check.
Yeah, I was going to say, I thought he was going to say you wanted to rip the rest.
I do want to rip the rest. I'm just bumping Dobbs down just a little bit with Sammy Watkins back. The more answers I give, the more I realize I kind of like Pierce more than Gallup for this week at least. So I'm bumped. I have Pierce, the wide receiver 29. Fuck, am I nuts?
That is kind of nuts, but I like it.
But yeah, no, I think it is just about that time for the rapid fire. So Wolfpack, as I gear up, I'm going to answer all of these as fast as I can up until about 12:40. If you need a guaranteed answer, hit that super chat. I'm happy to pause and slow down a little bit to give you guys in-depth answers there, but I'm going to rapid fire, just kind of tell you gut reaction to your questions here. As I do it, that thumbs up button is so greatly appreciated. So thank you again so much for spending your Sunday mornings here. Please do consider that thumbs up. And if you're new here, you like the content, you want to keep getting your questions answered all week. We're live 4 times a week. Hit that sub button. Join us. We'll be live again tonight to recap all the action of today and get you ready for moving on to week 8. Alrighty, Ryan Hemmings. Need 3 of Bateman, Samuel, Stevenson, Myers, and Pierce. I'm guessing it's still full PPR. I'm going to go Stevenson. I'm going to go Jacoby Myers if it's full PPR. And I think I go Pierce over Bateman, but damn, that's close. Not Curtis Samuel. Let's put it that way. George Pickens or Brian Robinson for Apex. I'm going to go Robinson. Full PPR makes it closer, but I like that like 15 to 20 carries, the goal line roll. Feel okay about it. Pick 2, Breece Hall, Lenny F. Frazier from across the pond, Walker and Ramondre. Holy shit. Damn. At first I was like, oh, this is going to be the first 2. And then you give me those last 2 names and I'm just like stopped in my tracks here.
I think Lenny and Walker for me.
I think
Breece. I like Breece a lot too.
So I'll tell you how my ranking shook out. Lenny 6, Walker 8, Breece 9, and then Ramondre 14. With Harris back, I think Ramondre is the one we cross out here. Breece versus Walker is real hard. But the Chargers do give up like the 3rd most points, I think, to backs in like the most rushing yards. They get pummeled. So, I'm going to go Walker. I thought he'd show some juice. Breece, maybe they sell out to stop him. As Broncos defense, I can see that game just being hideous. So I like just the atmosphere of the other game too. So yeah, Lenny and Walker, that's how they ranked out for me. But wow, Frazier, trade, get something. Like there's somebody in your league that needs a running back. You can capitalize, please. Stash Jamison Williams or OBJ. News today that OBJ wouldn't be ready till mid-December. So you might get a game in your fantasy playoffs out of him. And even then, would you actually trust him like his first week starting? So no, as much as I'm excited to see what OBJ does in the playoffs if he signs with somebody, not worth a stash. So I go Williams there. Do I stick with Sutton with no Wilson? I have Dubs or Gallup. Yeah, I'd stick it out with Sutton there. But man, if you trust like Gallup a little bit more, okay. It's not impossible to go there, but I'm going to stick it out with Sutton myself. Happy Sunday. Uphill climb. 2.5 starting receivers out with bye. No Russ for Sutton. Best of luck anyways. Cheers, Charlie. Good luck there.
Hey, wait. I do have Ryan Haggerty Schefter to say. He's our news guy. Gus Edwards was the first team running back today in warmups.
Oh, baby. It's still only 30% rostered, folks. I don't know that I trust him today to start, but also makes Drake a little riskier now. Justice Hill, see ya. Go get Gus Edwards. Well, I wouldn't start him, but man, like, go pick up. He's also 4K on DraftKings. Like, fuck. I could see Gus Bus getting his ass into the end zone today.
Mm-hmm.
If he's the starter and gets 10 carries against a bad Browns defense, like, oh, I have 4-minute 4K in one of my lineups. I'm going to probably swap him out for Gus, the basis of that news. Thank you, Ryan Schefter, for your tweets. I just didn't mean to skip you, Russell. Sorry. ETN over Pickens. Yeah, I feel good about Pickens today. I really do. I'm going to go Pickens there. Play Gallup or wait for Keenan Allen. If Gallen doesn't make it, I can pick up Claypool. I probably waited out then. Claypool versus Gallup isn't that different for me today. Started Eno despite the disbelief in him. and now looking good. I'm glad you overcame our disbelief in him. So you're looking at Carter. Well, I don't think it would have been Carter versus Eno. We would have ever said Carter. So I don't know if you're talking about our disbelief in him, Brandon. We would have 100% said him over Carter. I would go Carter, Mac Hollins, or Michael Carter. DeAndre Carter. I guess Michael Carter. He's getting some goal line work. He's still involved. I don't like any of them, though. Not great. Super chat coming in, so definitely got to jump the line here for our guy Broderick. Thank you so much.
Half
Broderick.
PPR, Reynolds, Renfro, Samuel, or Drake. Gross.
Is Josh Reynolds officially active? Do we know?
Beats me.
And can you double check that for us? Because I'm assuming if he's asking about him, he is. In which case, I actually kind of like Josh Reynolds with everybody else out.
He is active, yes.
So I'm going to bump Josh up in my ranking. Let's see where he ends up. He already was at 42, so I was already high on him. I really don't want to trust Curtis Samuel against a good secondary with a new quarterback. Even with Dotson out, last week was such a gross, shitty, floor. I'm going to go Josh Reynolds here. What about you, CJ? I feel okay about Josh Reynolds these last few weeks.
Yeah, I mean, Renfro, I don't really want to wait for. Samuel, no. Drake, no. I guess process of elimination, Josh Reynolds.
Yeah, I mean, we look back with all these injuries at the wide receiver position. How has Reynolds been? So officially active today. And in a PPR league, 13, 16, 21, and 15 points the last 4 weeks. That's damn good. And I know St. Brown was out for a handful of them.
And Chark's on IR now, right?
The Chark's on IR. He's going to always have a role. He's got great chemistry with Jared Goff. I actually feel pretty damn good when these guys are out. I feel good about Josh Reynolds. So, yeah, it's a little bit gross, but, man, he's been so steady. And with this news on, Gus Edwards maybe starting over Drake and with Renfro so hit or miss, Curtis Samuel just kind of grosses me out right now, too. So, yeah, I'm going Josh Reynolds. I think I feel actually okay about it. What about you, CJ? You agree?
I'm going Josh Reynolds.
All righty, back to the rapid fire for 7 minutes, folks. So if you need a guaranteed answer, I don't know that we'll actually get through all these because I do got to sign off right at 12:40. I've got $200 of DraftKings lineups I reserve that I haven't filled in yet and a bunch of regular lineups. So let's get going here. Where did we leave off? Fuck, I lost my place with the super chat.
I don't know.
Page 5, here we are. Start one receiver, one running back, one flex. So you're starting CMC, you're not thinking twice. You're starting Lockett over those other guys. And I'd go I'd go Brandon Cooks. I'd go Brandon Cooks, as the next one in. Worried about Sutton? You want to sit him? Depends on your options. I mean, it's definitely okay due to weather. There's weather going there too, damn. Pierce would be the closest TS, but I'm still okay with Sutton today. I'm going Pickens over Etienne. Half PPR need to replace Swift, B. Robinson, Jamal Williams, Pacheco. I'm gonna go Jamal Williams there, Sarah. 626 experiment. And again, guys, thumbs up, subs. So greatly appreciate when you rip through these. We got 50 of you here. Keep getting those numbers up for us. Be so appreciated. Should I start Pacheco? Probably not. Depends on your other options. I'd love to see what he does on my bench is more so what I want to do. Dobbs or Pacheco and PPR, I'd probably go Dobbs there. I feel still pretty good with him, even with Watkins.
Go Wandale.
Or Wandale. Actually, yeah, maybe Wandale. I really do like Wandale on a PPR. He's going to get peppered. Mostert, Hunt, or Drake. I'm going to go Mostert there, DY. I actually do agree with you. I think Spiller, very intriguing stash at your 4 p.m.s. If somebody doesn't show up at 1 p.m. or gets hurt, you can cut him. I'm really intrigued by stashing Spiller and see what he does. Standard flex, start one, Bateman, Reynolds, Claypool, Algier, Foreman. So Bateman must be active. That must be officially in at this point. Can you confirm that for me, CJ?
What was it?
Bateman.
I think he's in. There weren't any inactives that were notable.
I have him right here. Bateman's active. I really like Bateman. I have him at wide receiver 26. He's been damn good all year. So I feel pretty good about Bateman. I would go him just slightly over Josh Reynolds today. David Glass. Pollard or Juju for Bus. I'm going to go Pollard for sure. Let's go, baby. Need this one. Let's get it, Bus. Gino, Ryan, Danny Dimes. I'm going Gino, David. Brian Fitzpatrick, Etienne, Judy, or Wandale. Etienne very slightly over Wandale. Jamal over Hunt for me. McLaurin or Bateman. I kind of like Bateman, actually. Taylor Malone, pretty good season. Playing an underperforming team. Worth dropping my kicker to watch Pacheco. I would say, is that game 1 or 4?
Which one? Chiefs?
Chiefs Niners 4, right?
Chiefs are 4, yeah.
Yeah, so if you can get so Taylor, could you pick up Pacheco? He sucks. Drop him for Boswell later tonight, and see if you even need the points. Definitely do that. Yeah, I think so. Absolutely. I have a lot of guys on buys. Foreman versus Melvin Gordon or Latavius Murray. I'd go Gordon, I guess, at that point, given that Chuba's actually starting for the Panthers. Half PPR start 3. So yeah, keep your CJ as I rip through this. See if you can see anything on the Ravens starting running back. Is Edwards named the starter? Any of that stuff?
No, so I saw the actual tweet. It just says Underdog had lineup alert. Gus Edwards lining up at running back with Ravens starters in warmups per Jeff Seabrook.
So could be. Let's see if anything new pops up there. Ayuk, Njoku, Alec Pearson, Mostert. We need to bench one of them. Love Ayuk. I'm benching Njoku. I'm just going to bench the tight end there. Even though Njoku versus Pierce is close, I bench him there. Thoughts on Kyron? Worth a stash. IR guy. Why not? Let's see what happens. Schefter was all about it. Maple Hill Park. Eckler owner, not a Cook owner. Would you drop Madison for Spiller or Michelle? No, Giuseppe, just because we don't know which one would end up being the guy. Madison, I know it's a 1-week buy here. Nothing could happen for him, but still. Best handcuff in football among them. Montgomery or Pacheco, full PPR this week. Montgomery. Pickens or Wandale, Pickens for me. And Hopkins obviously looked great, 14 freaking targets. Full PPR, I think we answered this one. Harris over Drake, yep. And Everett over Hawkinson. Thanks again, Salsa, for the super chat. MVS or Lockett? Definitely Lockett. No way I'm going MVS. Goose egg last week? No thanks. CMC, Etienne, and McKissick. I'm benching McKissick there. Full PPR, pick 2. J-Rob, Mostert, Hunt. Assuming no Jeff Wilson. Yeah, no Jeff Wilson. He shouldn't be an option. Cut him. Pick something more valuable up, Charlie. There's no reason to have Jeff Wilson here. You're benching J-Rob here, in my opinion at least. Myers or McLaurin or Jeff Wilson or Drake. Ew to the running backs. Drake, I guess. I don't know. That sucks. I don't want either. Myers or McLaurin. I'm going to go Myers there. I would say Jeff Wilson over Drake, though, in case he's the kind of the main guy and it really is a small workload for McCaffrey. Top Chief finds. Gallup, Amon-Ra St. Brown, George Pickens, pick 1. Amon St. Brown, definitely. And then a flex. I'm going to go Gallup and hope he blows up against the Lions. Just kind of stack that game up. Brian Robinson or Pacheco. I'm going to go Brian Robinson. Who do I start? Z. Elliott or Pacheco? Kenneth Walker, Steven Hernandez. No doubt about it. Dak's back, baby. Absolutely. Robinson just based on their usage. So some people answering some questions for each other. Dak or Lamar? Got to go Lamar. Hey, guys, need help to a 3. Dobbs, London, Etienne, Robinson. I'm guessing it's James Robinson because Allen's not playing. I'm going to go London, and I'm going to go Etienne. Dobbs or Dillon? Need one for the flex. Dillon, I guess. I don't know. Dobbs could catch a touchdown, but he could also just lose the entire game to McCaffrey, so I don't know. Omar, my man with a super chat. Let me dive down there for you and jump ahead the line. Fellas, happy Sunday, full PPR, Kendra Drake or Drake London. You loved all the Drakes. I got to go Drake London here just with potentially. We got Gus Edwards starting, according to the news, took all the first team reps in the warm-ups. That's just such a muddy nightmare. Again, someone's going to light up the Browns in the Ravens backfield. Maybe all 3 of them do. I don't know. But give me Drake London. I know it's been a little sketchy, but he gets targeted on a ton of his routes. They really have no one else. Pitts is nothing at this point. So, yeah, I feel good about going Drake London over Kenyon Drake. Do you feel the same, CJ?
I was reading something. What were you
Super chat we got that you're not paying attention to, you piece of shit. Drake London or Kenyon Drake?
Both are kind of gross. I'd go London.
Yeah.
I'm saying I want nothing to do with the Ravens backfield.
Yeah, I feel the same way. Who's Atlanta facing today? For some reason, it slipped my mind.
Is it Cincy?
Yes, it is. Yeah. I think they're going to need to throw 2. That's why I wanted to double check that, because I think Cincy will put up their points, so they're going to have to chase points. So I feel good about that. All right, it is 12:40. I know I said I have to sign up, so I'm going to give you guys an extra minute though, because that late super chat just took it off. So 12:42. I'm signing off officially. If you need an answer between now and then, super chat's your only way. But let me just rip through a couple quick ones. Pacheco, I would go Alec Pierce over Pacheco. Damian Harris or Kenyon Drake. We talked about him at the beginning, Sonny, so rewind it if you need more info. Damian Harris or Drake, I'm going Damian Harris. Happy Sunday, Travis. I don't need both shit for shit. A-Rob for Mooney. I don't give a shit. I'd probably rather have A-Rob, I guess. Dylan Pacheco, Juju or Kirk. I'm going to go Dylan. Ayuk, A. Pierce, J-Rob, start one. I'm going to go Ayuk. Choose three. Ramondre Stevenson, Damian Pierce, Kenneth Walker, Barkley. You're benching Ramondre there.
No, you got to bench Saquon. Good question.
Yeah. Barkley, Walker, Pierce, and Ramondre. I mean, that's kind of crazy. But I'm benching Ramondre with Harris back. Love you, Salsa. Thanks for your super chat. CEH or Dylan for Seamus J. Timberlake. I'm going to go Dylan there. PPR, so I'll go Myers. There you go, Ryan. Absolutely. Jeff Wilson or Zay Jones? I guess Jeff Wilson. Hope he finds the end zone. Jamal Williams, CMC, or James Robinson, CMC. And then Jamal Williams, next man up. Sutton or Kirk? Sutton, I guess. Broderick asking Josh. Oh, we answered that one in the super chat. Thanks again, Broderick, for your support. We go Josh Reynolds. Pickens over Dubes for me. Streamer defense. Jets, ideally. Alec Pierce over those guys. I'm benching Dubs out of there. Just worried about Watkins being back more than I probably should be, but I am for Dubs' sake. Brady over Prescott, just slightly 6 and 7. Bench one, Dubs, Pierce, Etienne. Ronimo sucks. I'm benching Dubs. Half PPR 2. CMC, Joe Mixon, Pierce. Oh man, that's where I would actually bench CMC. Joe Mixon and Pierce are just so locked in. Taylor, feel like boom buzz. I can't read all that, Charlie. Hubbard or Pacheco today. Pacheco there. What QB do I start? Mariota, 2 or Brissett? I'm gonna go Tua there over all those other guys. Pitts or Hurst? I'm going Hurst. Ayuk or Gallup? Ayuk. B-Rob over Hubbard as well. Murray or Donovan Peoples-Jones, Latavius B9290. Hey guys, hope you're well. Ingram, Bellinger, or Moreau? Moreau. Different league. Murray, James Robinson, Jeff Wilson. Oh, gross. James Robinson, I guess. Matt Ryan or Jimmy G? Jimmy G for me. Schultz, Fryermuth, or Gesicki. Schultz, Keenan Reynolds, or Curtis Samuel for Turtle Dream Gaming. I don't even know Keenan plays, so as long as Keenan's not playing, then you got to go Josh Reynolds there. Myers or Alec Pierce? Myers. Sit one of them. Chubb, Stevenson, Joe Mixon, Hall. Whoo! Sitting Stevenson just because of Harris being back. Wandale or J.K. Dobbins? We are Chase, Davis, Pickens. I don't know. Wandale. I don't even know what that question is, Bubba Fett. Gus, Rashad White, or Donta Foreman? I got to go Donta Foreman and just hope for a touchdown. Smash the like. Reynolds is active. Thank you. Isaiah or Hunt, PPR? Hunt. Wandale or Terry? Terry. Etienne or Jamal Williams? Jamal Williams. Godwin or Bateman? Godwin, definitely, Steven. Dotson is rest of season or Wandale? Wandale, I think, just so you can see what he does this week. Bateman or Dubs? Bateman, definitely over Dubs. Broncos kicker or 49ers? 49ers. London or Herbert? I'm going Drake London. Herbert or Pacheco? I'm going to go Pacheco. Kenneth or Ramondre? Kenneth Walker. Rashad White, Melvin, or CEH? I'm going to bench Rashad White there. CEH first, then Melvin Gordon. Whew. Wolfpack, thank you so much. Thumbs up button on your way out. Sub if you're new here and haven't been here before. Oh, man, did I skip a couple super chats? I'm so sorry. All right, Captain Quint. I'm so sorry. I thought we hit all our super chats. I always jump the line. For some reason, $2 super chats do not pop up. So let me make sure to give you guys some answers, though. I'm so sorry about that. Hopefully you're here, Captain Quint, still. Terry or Wandale? I am going Terry. I feel just him and Heineke have that good pass connection. Let's see what Wandale does before we have to use him if we can. Bellinger, Ingram, or Moreau? I did hit that. I said Moreau. Just has always played well without Waller. And Houston, not a scary matchup. And Matt Ryan or Jimmy G?
Better than all of them.
Do you? Okay, you prefer Dulcich over either? Nah, give me Moreau there. I feel pretty good. And Jimmy G over Matt Ryan. All righty. And Sarno had a super chat as well. Fuck. Sorry about that, guys. Donta Pacheco, Wilson, or Alec Pierce? Ooh, I'm going to go Alec Pierce here. I feel really good about him today. Just in general, 12 or more points in 3 straight, 9 or more in 4. Pacheco's the next closest intriguing guy, but I feel good about Alec Pierce. He's been damn good, and it's a great matchup. All righty, guys. Thanks again so much for being here, Wolfpack. We got to go get our shit set. We'll be live again at 7:45 tonight to recap all today's action with my man, The Truth. So hopefully we can see you there. If you haven't already, again, likes and subs on your way out. Best of luck today in week 7. Go get them, Wolfpack.